23-year-old realtor, Claudia Anguiano, is suing 29-year-old massage therapist, Dalila Glover, for damages resulting from a road rage incident. Dalila is countersuing for the same.
Yeah. Yeah, this is case number 100 on the calendar in the matter of Anguiano versus Glover. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
You two ladies were involved in what I would term a road rage incident. Unusual for two women, but nonetheless, each of you claimed that the other was at fault. Each of you had damage to your vehicles. You're suing for a whole bunch of stuff, but that's primarily what it is. You had damage to your cars. So why don't you begin by telling me your version of these events, madam?
Well, I was driving on a 4-lane divided highway, and my intent was to get into the left lane.
Why did you want to get into the left lane?
Because I was going home, and it was a quarter of a mile to the intersection where I was heading home to.
So you had to get into the left lane?
Yes, and I put my turn signal ahead of time, which there was a bus in front of me, and it went ahead of me, and then I looked over towards this woman, and I thought, you know, she might be seeing what I was trying to do. And I remember exactly, I went into her lane, and apparently she was having a bad day or something, because she just went into oncoming traffic, trying to still beat me and to get in front of me while I was already in her lane. Okay, now she went in back of my vehicle again, and then she started crashing into the back of my vehicle purposely. Yeah. And she was yelling profanity at this time. And I could read her lips. I couldn't hear it because she was in back of me, of course, but that's just how upset she was, and I could see her face as she was doing that. And she kept crashing into the back of me multiple times.
So that's the damage to your car?
That's the damage.
Right.
I was in the
All
car.
right, Miss Glover, now your version of the events.
Your Honor, the plaintiff was trying to avoid stopping behind a Metro bus.
Explain that to me.
Basically, what she was trying to do was to get over into my lane. She did not use her
Because
turn
there was
signal.
a bus stopped in her lane?
Yes, there was a bus that was getting ready to stop. She forced her way into my lane and did not use a turn signal. I have the police report here.
But don't show it to me yet.
Okay. She forced me into the oncoming traffic. I tried to maneuver my way back into my lane. This time, the plaintiff was in front of me. She deliberately slammed on her brakes. I tapped her bumper, and I even have pictures here that shows that there was no damages to my car that proves that I slammed into her truck.
Okay, how was your car damaged?
My damages are on the side of the car.
How did you get damages to the side of your car?
From maneuvering my car back into my lane before the oncoming traffic was coming.
Can I see the police reports, please?
Yes.
Did you tell the police you slowed down to turn into U-Haul?
No. That's incorrect, and the police, by the way, were very negligent about the whole situation up there.
I just asked you a question.
Okay, yeah.
So you mean that the police lied in this report when they say...
Yes, they did, ma'am.
Why don't you wait until I'm finished?
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
She stated she slowed down to turn into the U-Haul, and vehicle 2 hit her several times. What you're telling me is the police officers made that up?
As a matter of fact, I did go ahead and file a complaint against the police station.
I'm asking you a question. Answer my question.
Okay.
The question was they made that all up.
They were not listening exactly to the situation that had just happened. I was at the U-Haul parking lot, right in the corner of the street where I was supposed to make a left.
What were you doing in the U-Haul parking lot?
A sheriff pulled us up in there, in which I have a witness that's seen everything that was in back of her,
Oh,
too.
good. Bring in your witness.
She got name?
Sandra, I believe. I don't know her that much. I just know she was driving in back of this woman's vehicle. The sheriff pulled her over and asked her what had just happened. It's a surprise witness, too.
Is this the only police report that there is?
Yes, there is. That's it.
Tell me your name, madam.
Sandra Rizzo.
Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth in these matters?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Oh, do you know the plaintiff?
No, I don't.
Prior to this incident, you had never seen her
No.
before. Tell me what you know about this incident that happened on the 14th of April.
Basically, I was sitting behind Miss Glover in traffic. I saw Claudia to my left.
Who's Claudia?
Claudia, the plaintiff. She was in the right-hand lane with her turn signal on to get in the left-hand lane. They were about equal, side by side.
Right.
The bus that was in front of Claudia moved forward, that's when Claudia turned to the left-hand lane
So she was trying to get out of her lane to avoid getting stuck behind a bus that was going to stop.
Well, I took it that she was going to make a left-hand turn at the light.
You did? What made you think that?
Because there is an arrow to turn left.
And how far away was the light?
From the back of the courtroom to the front, 30, 40 feet.
Not a quarter of a mile, right?
Right.
So you thought she was going to make a left turn about 30 feet away.
The light had turned,
I'm
yes.
asking you a question.
I took it, yes, that she was going to make...
Well, you were incorrect, because according to Claudia, she was going to make a turn for about a quarter of a mile. Unless she was making a left-hand turn into the U-Haul place. That's what the police said that she told them, only she says that the police were lying when they said that.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I asked you why you didn't report this incident to your insurance company.
Because I feel that if I wouldn't have gotten into this accident with her, I would not have damages to my car.
Did you both go to the same school of double talk?
And later today,
How many of you put Mr. Perkins in the garbage can head first, sir?
There were 3 students involved in the situation.
Just a minute. In the garbage can. Not in the situation. This isn't a situation, Mr. Evans.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Claudia Anguiano claims fellow motorist Delilah Glover rammed her car in a fit of rage. Delilah says she was forced into oncoming traffic when Claudia made an illegal lane change.
So why don't we just continue on with this?
Claudia got in front of Miss Glover.
Did Miss Glover have plenty of room when Claudia got in front of her?
I took it there was, because she was able to get into the left-hand lane.
At the same time that Claudia moved into the left-hand lane, did Miss Glover move into the other lane of traffic that was coming in the other direction?
No, I did not see oncoming traffic, and I did not see
I didn't
her.
ask you whether you saw oncoming traffic, madam. I said at the same time that Claudia moved into Miss Glover's lane, did Miss Glover move into the lane where there would be oncoming traffic?
No.
When did she do that?
I did not observe her doing that.
Well, that happened according to Claudia and according to Miss Glover. You didn't notice that?
No, I didn't.
That's sort of interesting, wouldn't you say? What's the next thing that you saw?
I saw Miss Glover ramming her car into Claudia's vehicle.
Just from nowhere?
The windows were down that day. I did observe them. They were exchanging words.
Now, at some point, both cars stopped.
Right.
What did you do?
I basically put my car in park because I knew at that point I wasn't going anywhere.
And then what did you do?
The sheriff signaled for me to pull into the U-Haul parking lot.
And did you speak to the officer?
Yes, the officer came and asked me my name and my address and what I saw.
Really? That's so strange. It's nowhere in the police report.
Negligence.
They've got a lot of other things in the police report, but not that. That's so peculiar. Okay. Did you have any conversation with either of these two ladies?
Just Claudia.
Tell me what the conversation was with Claudia.
She asked me if I had seen what had happened. I stated yes, I did. I basically gave her my name and my phone number. That was the end of the conversation.
Okay. What kind of car were you driving, Claudia?
A 96 Chevy Tahoe truck.
You have insurance?
Yes, I did, but I didn't bring any of that with me at this time. But
And what kind of car were you driving?
A 98 Ford Taurus.
And you have insurance?
Yes.
Did you report this incident to your insurance companies?
I didn't, because I felt as if this woman over here, which attempts to act really civilized, and she's not that day. She was being very crazy. And
I'm
did,
asking you.
Okay, and I did
Claudia.
report it. I didn't
Claudia.
report it because, sorry, I wanted her to, go ahead and respond for what she had done, and her insurance pay for it. There wasn't that much damage. There was probably like 1 or 2 dents on my bumper. I could have.
Claudia, pay attention to me, my dear.
Okay.
I asked you why you did not report this matter to your insurance company. Now you want to tell me that it was just 1 or 2 little dents in your bumper, which is why you didn't report it to your insurance company. Is that what you're telling me?
If I would have taken it to the small claims court and this woman would hit me for what she did to my vehicle, then I could fix it that way. If I would have hit her, I would have responded with my insurance. But I don't necessarily have to drive that vehicle if I don't want to, and if she fixes it, maybe that'll be good.
Is she giving me double talk or what? I mean, does she think that people get over on this kind of double talk? Huh?
I don't know.
And you didn't report it to your insurance company, why?
Yes, ma'am, I did report it to my
Can I
insurance
see?
company.
She didn't have insurance at the time. I had
did
the
have
lawyer
insurance.
contact, and
But I feel
get
that
her-
she should have made
Claudia.
aware of it.
Okay.
Well, all you're showing me is what?
I'm showing you that I was insured on that day.
I see you were insured. I asked you why you didn't report this
Because
incident
I
to your
feel-
insurance
Because
company.
I feel that if I didn't have, if I wouldn't have gotten into this accident with her, I would not have damages to my car. So I feel that she should have to be responsible for it.
After
Did you both go to the same school of double talk? That's double talk. You have an accident, you report it to your insurance company. You're each claiming thousands of dollars of damage to your cars. You report it to your insurance companies. And you have insurance.
Yes.
And you have insurance, right? Report it to your insurance company, ladies. I don't buy this story. Let me tell you why I don't buy this story, Claudia. Because A, you can't look me straight in the eye. That's number one. Number two, she didn't see her going into oncoming traffic, which both of you acknowledge happened. What probably happened was you wanted to get away from behind a bus and weren't looking where you were going, or scooched in front of her, causing her to have to move into the other lane. Fortunately, she didn't get hurt. And she moved back in, and she was furious with you, and she hit the back of your car. All of this happens because, in all probability, you weren't looking where you were going, Claudia. The insurance company could ferret this out. That's what you girls have insurance for. Use it. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
we're gonna pay for these. I just feel that this woman is very good at acting because she's just totally lying about the whole situation. And how would I come to see a big old bus and then just decided to cut him off or something? I mean, that'd be very stupid, you know?
If I had repeatedly slammed into the back of her truck, like she says, there would be a lot more damages to my car. So she's full of it.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Clanton versus Raduazo, step forward, please.
Kristen Clanton and her husband Mark are suing antique limo business owner Frank Raduazo for causing them to be late for their own wedding and for ruining her dress.
Mrs. Clanton, you retained the defendant's limousine company to provide transportation for you and your husband for your wedding, and claimed that because of problems that developed with the cars, you were late for your own wedding, your dress got ruined because the cars broke down. All in all, it was a terrible day, and you want some compensation. He says he provided the best service that he could for you under the circumstances, and there were problems with the cars. The problems were really your fault because you insisted upon using the antique cars rather than regular cars. Is that right?
That's true.
Okay. How did you find this company?
Actually, at a bridal fair, they had given me a flyer.
Can I see the flyer, please?
Sure can.
Because a lot of this has to do with the fact that you and your husband selected antique cars to use to take you to your wedding. The defendant says that because of weather conditions that existed over the week or so prior to the wedding, he had suggested to you that it would not be a good idea to use these antique cars, but he would send other cars, and you insisted on using the antique cars. That's what he said.
Yes.
All right. When did the Clantons contact you about using your antique cars?
On May 20th in the year 2001.
And when was the wedding scheduled?
June 15th, 2002.
And when they contacted you, they told you that they wanted to use the antique cars?
That's correct.
And told them what the cost was?
Correct.
Did you tell them anything else?
The discussion at that time was basically the address, what's on the contract.
Can I see the contract, please?
When we
Just
originally...
just a minute. So it's clear that they specified a Rolls-Royce with leather seats.
Correct.
And there was nothing in this contract that indicated that there was anything wrong with this car that prevented it from being used in inclement weather.
Other than the fact is if the question was if there were a problem with the vehicle,
Yes.
Would we have a backup type of vehicle under those conditions so that they wouldn't be without a car?
And what did you say?
And I told her, yes, that would be true.
What kind of backup vehicle did you have?
We have additional Roses.
Good. Oh.
Plus limousines.
So you could have sent them, under the contract, another Rolls Royce.
Which we did do.
Which also broke down.
Both cars did.
Both cars broke down.
Correct.
Okay. Why don't you tell me about the travails? You're at home waiting for the car to pick you up, and what happened?
I'm at home getting ready. I have the whole bridal party at the house. I get the phone call from Mr. Raduazzo. Basically, he was calling me to tell me that the car that I rented with him was not going to run.
What did he say?
He basically just told me that it was raining out and that the car wasn't going to run well. I rented this car for the day of my wedding a year in advance. You know, this is part of a dream that I had. I wanted an old-fashioned car for the day of my wedding. And
so he called and told you the car was not going to run well.
Right.
What did you say?
I was basically in shock, to be honest with you. I thought it was a joke. I thought somebody was calling me. It was like 3 hours before I was going to get married. I thought it was going to be a joke.
So, what did you say?
Basically, we hung up. I mean, he told me that the car wasn't going to run well.
What did you say, Miss Clanton? I'm asking you, what did you say to him? You didn't just hang up. He says the car's not going to run well. You're home. You're going to say, you're going to send another car. You say, you better send that car anyway. What did you say to him?
I basically just told him to send a car to get me to my wedding.
So did he send a car?
Yes, he did.
What time is the car supposed to pick you up?
4:30.
What time did the car pick you up?
4:30.
What happened when the car picked you up?
The vehicle that showed up was not the vehicle that I rented. It was
it
another
a Rolls Royce?
old-fashioned car.
Was it a Rolls Royce?
I believe so.
Old or new?
It was older. It wasn't freshly painted. It was disgusting.
What happened on the way to the church?
Well, we live probably about a mile from the highway. We barely even made it to the highway. The car stalled before we even got onto the on-ramp. My mother was in the front. I was in the back with my brother, and basically the car was stalled out. We finally got it started. I was in tears. I was very upset.
What time did you get there?
Definitely late. That car was backfiring, so finally I talked the driver into getting us a backup car. So finally, around the corner from the church, they had another car meet us, which I had to get out in the rain, get into the other vehicle, and we were only about maybe a couple blocks from the church, so we were late. The ceremony was at 5:30, and we were definitely at least 10 minutes late.
Now, from there, you were going to the reception.
Right.
Which car did you get into to go to the reception?
A second car showed up, still not the car that we booked.
But another Rolls Royce?
Yes.
And what happened with that car?
We probably got almost halfway there. On the side of the highway, major highway, we break down again. So we had to get out of the vehicle. We were on the side of the road in the pouring rain. I was getting mud splashed up on my gown.
Why did you have to get out?
We had to get out and try to get somebody to drive us.
Well, you didn't have to do that. You have a driver there for that. What?
The car itself, when it broke down on the side of the road, the photographer was behind us in a caravan. So I got out of the car and I flagged down the caravan. So I had to get her out of the car, get her in the caravan.
Okay, but she wasn't outside trying to flag down the car.
No, but getting her out of the car is where the dress started. I don't know how to hold the dress up. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to that.
You better figure it out.
You know, and then when we got to the church, I had no idea any of this was going on at all. And I'm thinking my wife left me before I got married, so I don't know what's going on. And the car shows up, and it's about 15 minutes later than we were supposed to start the wedding.
We're past the wedding. Get it together, Mr. Clanton. We're at the reception. You already got married. Now you're on your way from the church to the reception.
And we got stuck
Pay
on
attention.
the side of the road.
That's what we're up to.
Yep, and I had to
And
get
you
her out
gave
of the
me a
car.
very plausible explanation for the question that I asked. Don't volunteer anything else. Answer only questions posed.
Okay.
You won't get into any trouble that way. That's very good advice for a young married person. Don't volunteer any information. Do you understand?
Oh, absolutely.
Perfect. Mr. Raduazzo, sounds to me like you ought to get rid of your fleet of Rolls Royces, sir, and stop advertising them. They don't run.
Your Honor, the cars are 40 years old plus.
Problem is that you understand that some people really love the idea of getting married in one of these old cars. You have other cars in your fleet. I'm sure you have much newer limousines in your fleet. Fair statement?
Yes, ma'am.
But when you advertise with the white Rolls Royce because that's sort of a dream that lots of young people have and older people have when they get married, of being married and using one of these cars, elegant cars, to get them to and from. And what I'm telling you is that it sounds to me as if at least 3 cars in your fleet don't run if it's damp.
May I explain?
Yeah.
Okay. I started to call their home on the 13th of June.
That's a lie.
I spoke.
What did I tell you about volunteering? Don't you understand? Go ahead, sir.
I spoke to her father, I believe it was. And I explained that we were in conditions that just don't normally happen. We had 50-degree temperatures with rain, thunderstorms, fog. And I wanted to switch them to a limousine at that time. That was the 13th. I called again on the 14th and again tried to get them to go into a limousine. I called the morning of the wedding, and the bride hung up on me and left me no alternative but to send the car.
You don't understand what I'm saying to you, Mr. Radowazo. What I'm saying to you is you ought to get rid of this fleet of Rolls Royces that are 40 years old because, sir, they don't run well, and you should stop advertising them. Now, if in the contract you said if you want Rolls Royces, you can only use them in good weather because in bad weather they don't run well, and you make them aware of that, well, then they've been forewarned.
Well, they asked me at the time that we went into the agreement, what would happen if you had a problem with this car? And I explained to them.
Yeah, that's right. If you had a problem with that car, then you send another Rolls Royce. That's what the agreement was. That's not your problem, Mr. Radowazo. Your problem is you had information that your customer didn't have. And the information that you had at the time you entered into this contract was that your fleet of Rolls Royces do not run well in certain kinds of weather. And that information you had to share with them because you knew that there was an inherent defect in the product that you were offering to them, and that inherent defect was that it doesn't go in the rain. Then they're aware of it. And then they could have made a choice. They're not aware of it. And so you are responsible. You're not responsible for everything that they think you're responsible for ruining their day. But you are responsible for giving them back their money. They didn't get what they bargained for. Let me see pictures of your wedding dress.
I only have a picture of us getting out of the minivan on the side of the highway. I didn't know that we were going to run into this problem, so somebody had a job to take my gown to the cleaner. So I do have the cleaner's bill and also a note from the cleaner stating that he couldn't get the...
Is this getting you out of the photographer's van?
Yes.
I don't see any stains on the dress. If your wedding dress is all covered with mud, then you must have a picture from your wedding showing me that the wedding dress, you say in your complaint, is covered with mud. I don't see it in this picture. Mr. Radowazo, stop advertising these cars, or at least modify your contract to provide that these cars do not run in the rain, they do not run in the damp, they do not run in the wet. And if somebody wishes to rent them on that basis, with the understanding that unless the weather is crystal clear and perfect, they're not going to run, they should have a substitute car, I think you're going to be faced with these lawsuits all the time. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $395. That's
I feel bad that the day was not what it was supposed to be.
I probably would have never rented the vehicle if this was going to be a problem.
Hopefully in the future we'll do a better job.
31-year-old homemaker Michelle Loftus is suing her neighbors, 33-year-old customer service rep Cheryl Earhart and her daughter, 14-year-old Robin Earhart, for stolen items, damage to her apartment, and damage to her truck.
Ms. Loftus, your complaint is that you hired, I assume, this young lady.
Yes, ma'am.
To do some house sitting for you and take care of your cat.
Correct.
And your complaint is that when you came home, your house was pretty much a mess, some things were missing, and in addition, there was evidence that someone had driven your truck.
Yes, ma'am.
And you believe it was either the defendant or one of her friends.
She admits to it, yes.
Okay. You're her?
I'm her mother.
Why don't you have a seat? How old are you?
14.
14. Okay, so you're really suing her mother.
Yeah.
On what day did this incident occur?
April 29th of this year.
You did work for her on the 29th?
Yes.
And what were your responsibilities on that day?
To water plants, make sure her cat was taken care of.
And how long were you supposed to stay in her apartment?
She told me she wouldn't be back till late night, so she just wanted me to be around there to check on her cat, and I could stay there, spend time with her cat.
Okay. What time did you arrive?
Well, I had went there in the morning.
Give me some time, an approximate time.
It was probably around 11.
And how long did you stay?
I was there for like 10, 15 minutes.
Okay, when did you come back?
About 4:30.
Okay. You came back at 4:30, and when you came back at 4:30, were you alone?
No.
Who was with you?
My two friends, David and Ben.
And how long did you stay at that time?
We stayed there about, I'm guessing around 7:30.
So you stayed through dinner time?
Yes.
You ordering dinner?
No, I made dinner.
Where?
At her house.
Whose food did you use?
My mom's. Well, mine, essentially.
What do you mean? Explain that to me.
I went to my house and I grabbed some steak and the seasoning and everything like that, but I made it at her house.
You went back to your house to get the steak
Yes.
and stuff. And you left Ben and David in the house.
Yes.
And by the time you came back, how many other people were there?
There was 2 people in the house.
Just Ben and David.
Just Ben and David.
How many people in total were there that evening?
Just Ben and David.
So just the 3 of you.
Yes.
Just a minute. So you had dinner.
Yes.
Did you clean up after dinner?
Yes, I did.
Then where did you go?
Well, we had dinner and then we were talking for a little while, and then they were saying
Look at me.
they were saying to go to their friend's house or have their friend come pick us up. So
Look at me.
we called their friend and they came and picked us up. And they didn't go inside of the house, they came outside of the house.
Now, what do you know about her truck?
Her truck? Well, my friends had needed to go home to take a shower or something.
You
And
left this out. You mean your friends David and Ben?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way I could think of to get them a ride, because they couldn't find a ride with anybody, I found the keys and I handed it to them and I said, well, we just take the truck. We're only going to be borrowing it for a little while and we'll bring it back and put some gas
They had to take a shower before or after they ate?
before.
And for some reason at 4:30 in the afternoon, Ben and David both had this urgent need to get clean, right?
Yes.
Yes. And I assume that Miss Loftus does not have a shower in her house.
Yes,
So
she
that
does.
they had to
But
go.
they didn't have their own clothes there. They weren't going to wear her clothes.
What was wrong with their clothes?
They were dirty. They needed to take a shower, and the only way I could find them a ride was with her truck.
So they used her truck. What time did they leave with her truck?
Like maybe an hour after we got there, half an hour, I don't know.
4:30, 5 o'clock. They left with her truck. And what time did they get back?
Like an hour after.
All right, now, Miss Loftus, now that I've finished with her, tell me what you found when you came home.
I had furniture out of place, food droppings on the kitchen floor. The bathroom door was closed, and so I opened up the bathroom door, and there's a lit candle in my bathroom, and out runs my cat. So
From the bathroom?
Yes, ma'am. There was claw marks from her claw on the bathroom door when she was trying to get out. There was 12 phone calls on my caller ID from, I'm assuming, her friends. And after this, I was receiving several very obscene and threatening phone calls from her friends. And I believe that's how they got the phone number, was that day. I didn't realize that my truck had been taken that day because, like I said, it was late at night. And we didn't take my truck that day mainly for the main reason is my truck was very, very low on oil. I encountered another neighbor the next day who asked me, she said, you know, who was driving your truck yesterday? And I said, what do you mean who was driving my truck? Well, there was a bunch of kids that got in your truck. I know you don't have any kids. And so I turned around and went back home and I called her. I said, you need to get over here right now. I want my keys back. And I hung up the phone. Later, I went to go to her house. And that's when I thought I'd calm down. Maybe that her mom would be home because her mom's very seldom home. So I went over, went to knock on the door, and there was one of her boyfriends standing out there at the door. And I said, where's Robin? And he said, she's not here, don't worry about it. And I said, are you the one that drove my truck yesterday? And he goes, he said, that's none of your business. Okay. I said, well, then I'll just go call the police and we'll settle it that way. And I left. Just when I got home, I hadn't even picked up the phone to call the police yet. My phone rang. It was a boy's voice. And he said, if you call the cops on Robin, you're going to be sorry and your truck will never run again. I went out and I did look at my truck, and there's several dents and scratches in it. There was a half a tank of gas gone, and there was at least 70 miles driven on my truck. I have photos of my truck.
That I want to see.
Okay. And I also included in here, there's also some photos of the wall. There's some dents in my wall, one in the hallway, one in my bathroom that are up further on the wall, and there's a cigarette burn on the carpet floor. And I do have the police report.
I'd like to see it.
Okay. I have a map also that shows the distance that she admits to driving.
What do you mean she admits to driving? Did she
In the
ultimately
police
admit?
report, yes, ma'am.
Oh,
In the police
okay.
report, she admits it, and so I mapped that out for you
Let
if
me
you'd
read
like
the
to
police.
see.
Let me look at the police report. Who's Jason? Who's Jason?
One of my friends?
One of the friends who was there.
No.
Jason wasn't there that day?
No, Jason was in California that day with his dad or his
That's
mom.
interesting.
One of those.
Jason wasn't there. You're lying.
No, I'm not.
Oh, yes, you are.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
There was some sort of sexual activity that went on my bed.
When teenagers have an empty house, that is a prescription for trouble.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Michelle Loftus says she hired neighbor 14-year-old Robin Earhart to watch her apartment. Michelle says Robin and some friends damaged her home, stole personal belongings, and took her truck for a joyride.
Now you can stand up.
Your Honor, may I say them?
Yeah.
One of the other things that I found in my house, there were several items missing out of my dresser drawers and my jewelry box, a pair of diamond earrings. I had some other things taken, but one of the other things that I found was that there was some sort of sexual activity that went on my bed.
Miss Earhart, when did you first find out about this problem?
I had come home from work, and Michelle met me pretty much at my car. She was really upset about what was happening.
Did your daughter initially admit to you that she and her friends drove the plaintiff's truck?
No. She had said that she did not use the truck.
Right. So
then-
initially she told you she had not used the truck.
Right.
When did she finally admit to you that she did use the truck?
It was probably a few days later. We were confronted by the police.
So then she admitted she was involved in using the truck.
She told me that they had used the truck, but...
What do you mean they had used the truck? What does that
Well,
mean?
whoever was with her at the apartment, that they had used the truck, but that she wasn't involved.
She wasn't involved? If it's true that she wasn't there, she gave him the keys. She just told me she gave him the keys. How much more involved can you be? Excuse me?
Can I speak?
When I'm ready. You were entrusted to go into somebody's house and to perform certain tasks. Instead, you abused that privilege because you had an empty house, and when teenagers have an empty house, that is a prescription for trouble. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Prescription, especially a teenager with an attitude. And she's got an attitude.
She didn't have this. Her and I had a really good friendship.
Well,
she'd come over, we'd talk, she'd tell me kind of, a little bit about what was going on with her, that she had broken up with her boyfriend. She kind of took my advice, she said, and broke up with him because he was kind of abusive. And
which boyfriend was this?
I don't remember what his name was.
So now she had a couple of new friends. Now my next question to you is, she's 14 years old, so what you're doing is you're really suing her mother for, not for negligence, because this is not negligence on her part. This is an intentional act, right?
Correct.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
This is a criminal situation. And in a criminal situation, there is a different standard.
Okay.
So my question to you is, do you believe that her mother knew or should have known about her propensity for committing this kind of intentional act?
She should have known.
Why should she have known? And not you. You never had any indication that she would act irresponsibly in your house?
Since this has happened.
Talking about before.
Before, no.
You knew nothing?
No, she's always been very nice and polite to me.
And, by the way, who are these two young men?
These are two of the kids that live in the complex, and they actually saw all the kids that she had, because she had a lot more in the apartment than just the two boys that she said.
I'm absolutely positive that she did.
And they also saw her driving my truck.
Who saw her driving the truck? Step up here. Tell me your name.
Mel Blood.
Tell me what you saw on April 29th with regard to the plaintiff's truck.
I was playing with a couple friends, and I saw her get in the truck, and...
So who get in the truck?
Robin.
What else did you see?
I saw her running, her and some of her friends run up to Michelle's house, go in, and...
And how many people was she going in with?
I saw like 5.
Anything else that you saw?
No.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
Tell me your name.
James Blood.
James, can you tell me what you remember of the 29th of April?
Well, I seen the trucks and everyone was sitting on it. Everyone that entered her apartment.
Was sitting on the truck?
Yes.
How many people did you see enter the apartment?
I didn't see them enter the apartment, but there was at least 5 sitting on the truck.
Did you see anything else?
No.
Sit down. By the way, have either of you two boys ever had any difficulty with this young lady before?
Well, we were helping someone. We were helping someone move into another apartment, and she come out and told the guy, "Why do you have these tattletales helping you?"
When was that?
I don't remember. It's like.
Was this after April 29th?
Yes.
Because you had told plaintiff about what you saw.
Yes.
Sit down.
I have all the receipts and estimates for my truck. Would you like to see those?
Yes.
There was also medication stolen as well.
Let's hope it didn't do any damage.
I'm hoping.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your Honor, can I speak?
First, take your hand off your hip. Stand up straight like you're in court. You're not at a beach.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Michelle Loftus says she hired neighbor 14-year-old Robin Earhart to watch her apartment. Michelle says Robin and some friends damaged her home, stole personal belongings, and took her truck for a joyride.
Go ahead.
When I took my cat to the vet, I had to take her that Monday because she was acting really sick, and they did blood tests on her and found marijuana in her blood system.
What?
And she also had a toxin in her blood system, and the vet said that that was probably from the candle that was left burning in the bathroom.
Cross your arms.
Your Honor, can I speak?
Yes. Now I'm going to listen to you. But before you say anything, first take your hand off your hip. Stand up straight like you're in court. You're not at a beach. And before you give me a lot of crap, you want to tell me about that day, how the cat ended up locked in the bathroom, how 70 miles got put on the truck, and then we're going to talk a little bit about your friends and you making her life miserable over something you did. So we're going to talk about all that stuff. Now you can talk.
First of all, when she called me, she did not tell me anything about the cat being in the bathroom. All she told me that there was a candle lit in the bathroom.
I'm asking you how the cat got locked in the bathroom.
I don't know how the cat got locked in the bathroom.
You don't know. How did 70 miles get put on the truck?
I told you we used the truck to get
No,
them
you
to
didn't
their
say
house.
we. You said the 2 boys needed to shower. You didn't say we. Now you want to say we? I'm going to give you a chance. You want to say we used the truck to go get them a shower. Did we use the truck to go get them a shower? Or did they leave you there cleaning up after a steak dinner?
I went with them the
Okay,
first
so you
time.
went... So
the
now there was...
first time.
Okay,
and
listen.
I sat in the truck to make sure nothing would happen to the truck.
Gets better all the time. Miss Earhart, I want you to tell me how many disciplinary proceedings you've had with regard to your daughter in the last 6 months in school.
2.
What were they about?
She was probably going to school about 3 or 4 days out of the week.
Since last September?
Yes. She told me she was going to school. Matter of fact, I didn't even find out about her truancy until the last quarter of her school because she was calling in for herself.
Did you have a parent-teacher conference the first semester at school?
Yeah, that was at the time that I had found out.
That she was being truant, and
That she was being
within the first semester at school.
Well, it would have been,
Like in November?
mid-third quarter. No, that would have been first quarter.
I'm talking about the first quarter. I'm talking about going to school for a parent-teacher conference the first quarter in school.
No.
Did you go?
No.
Okay. Is there any reason why you didn't go?
I couldn't make it. They were way too early.
Okay. I just changed my mind, madam. It appears to me that the defendant, the older defendant, had knowledge that her daughter was misbehaving, or should have known that her daughter was misbehaving, if she had done what she was supposed to do as a parent, which is going to school and making sure that your child is in school, speaking to the teachers, being up on things. She didn't do that. She had an appointment. She couldn't make it. And you as a parent had the responsibility to say to her, before you hire my daughter and leave her in your home, I want you to not do it because I'm not quite sure that I can vouch for her. You got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Now, I am not holding her responsible for the things missing out of your apartment, because that is, well, probably true, a stretch. She is, however, totally responsible for the damage that was done to your truck. That's $1,330. And she is responsible for the injury to your cat, which cost you $34 at the vet. That's $1,364. Now, the only thing that I have to tell you, young lady, is you have to live in your own skin your whole life. She did nothing wrong. They did nothing wrong.
I understand that.
Well, if you understand that, then it's up to you to make certain that your friends leave them alone.
I do not control my friends.
I'm just telling you, you may not control your friends, but if you are complaining to your friends that you got into trouble because of her, the morons that you hang around with will take it upon themselves to harass her a little bit. You wouldn't like it if somebody did that to your mother, would you? Listen, I'm not going to get through to her. I have the sense that she's a lost cause at 14. So why don't you do this? Why don't you change your number? Got it?
Will do.
That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I really do wish that we could have settled it, without coming here, but couldn't do it. Her friends, harassed me. They harassed the boys. You need to keep an eye on your kids. You need to know what your kids are doing at all times.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Daniels versus Robinson. Step forward, please.
Registered nurse Cherise Daniels is suing her ex-boyfriend, social worker Andre Robinson, for an unpaid loan. Andre claims she's been repaid.
Ms. Daniels, the defendant is your former boyfriend, and it is your claim that he owes you a balance on a loan that you made to him for his mother's funeral expenses. Yes. Mr. Robinson says that he paid back $1,300 of that loan. You acknowledge that?
Yes.
Owing a balance of $2,700, which he claims was forgiven because he did some favors for you.
That's correct, Your Honor.
So now, Ms. Daniels, we're going to get to some preliminary facts. Where did you get the $4,000 from?
Actually, I borrowed about $600 of it from my sister, but the rest of it I had myself. I work. I'm a registered nurse.
Where did you have it?
In my banking account.
Show me the withdrawal.
I don't have the statement from the withdrawal.
Do you have any evidence here of the loan?
No, I don't have any evidence.
So you have no evidence. You're coming to court, and you have to bring more than a smile when you come to court. Mr. Robinson, you claim that you gave her back $1,300. Is that right?
Yes, I did.
Show me proof of that.
I have no receipt. I paid her in cash.
You did? Where did you get the cash from?
From, well, pretty much work, from saving and accumulating.
Income tax.
I gave it to her.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Income tax what year?
It wasn't income tax because my income tax check was taken from me.
So it wasn't an income tax check?
Yeah. So I had to come up with that much amount of money on my own.
So that you saved $1,300?
Yes.
That you gave her in cash?
Yes, because I trust her like that. We've known each other for so long.
You know what my problem is, Mr. Robinson? You know what my problem is, Miss Daniels?
No, Your Honor.
I don't trust either one of you. So when you all get some proof, you come back to see me.
Well, Your Honor, can I say something?
No. Listen to me. Listen to me. When you all get proof, go to your bank.
Your Honor,
listen to me carefully. Until I see a bank withdrawal from your bank for $4,000, don't come back.
Parties are excused. Step out.
Cindy Sullivan is suing fellow motorist, advertising strategist Anthony Nico Van Prague for damaging her car in a fit of road rage. Nico is countersuing, claiming Cindy shoved him off his motorcycle.
Yeah, this is case number 20 on the calendar in the matter of Sullivan versus Van Prague. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
I have a claim, Officer Byrd, and I have a counterclaim. And these two people were involved in an incident of road rage. Each one of them got a little out of hand. So Miss Sullivan is suing the defendant for damage she says he did to her car when he kicked her car with a boot, I assume, that boot. and then for having her falsely arrested for assault. Mr. Von Prague says she did in fact assault him. He is suing her for that, and he's also suing her for damage she did to his motorcycle. When she pushed him off the motorcycle, he lost control of it and it was damaged. They're going to try to explain to me by the use of these charts why each of them was right. You were driving your car, Miss Sullivan. You were coming from where? Show me.
I was coming from here and was stopped at the stoplight there.
Stopped at a stoplight. And then according to what I sort of put together in your complaint, you got a phone call.
Yes.
While you were stopped at the stoplight.
Correct.
And that phone call said that somebody you knew was taken to the hospital. You had to change direction.
Correct. Later on down the road.
Now, show me where you had to go after you got this phone call.
The phone call was complete before I moved my car. The light was red. I was in this lane. I was going to have to be in number 2 lane later down the road because I did not want to get on the freeway. I wanted to go straight to the hospital. There's quite a bit of traffic, so I knew it was going to take me quite a while to get over, so I put my turn signal on. You have to keep this clear. And there was congestion all over, so when the light turned green, there was one other car in front of me. It proceeded through when it was safe and could clear the intersection. I slowly started to go through. I accelerated when I see I could make it through the intersection. Just as I entered the intersection, I went by my driver's side and then cut in front of me, right about here where the median is.
Okay. So what did you do?
I flashed my lights at him, kind of like to say...
Just a minute.
Yes?
He passed you.
Correct.
Safely passed you. Didn't hit you.
Correct.
And you could have just kept on going and meandered over to the right.
Correct.
But you chose to flash your brights at him.
Correct.
In an act of road rage.
If you want to interpret that way.
Well, that's what it is.
Okay.
You flashed your lights on, hoping to annoy him, because he, according to you, went around you too fast and cut in front of you.
There is not a lane of traffic where he passed me.
What happened next?
Well, I proceeded, someone let me in, so after I made it through the intersection, I made it into the number 2 lane.
Good.
Traffic was stopped. My car wasn't completely in the number 2 lane. It was kind of like at an angle, but I was completely in the number 2 lane.
Okay. What happened next?
Traffic was stopped. I had an SUV next to me. I saw the headlight of the gentleman's motorcycle come out from behind the SUV, so I assumed he was going to go between the two of us, as many motorcycles do. And then I heard and felt something hit my car.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately got out because I figured he hit my car trying to go between us. And I said, "What the hell are you doing?"
You didn't say hell.
Yes, I said, hell.
No, it's not even what you say here, you said to him. What are you doing? Okay, you said, what are you doing?
Well, I didn't say I used profanity, as we both did. He started yelling at me, saying
Well,
I tried to kill him. He said he kicked my car to get my attention.
Mm-hmm.
And that he yelled that I tried to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, no, you're the one that did an evasive move in traffic through the intersection and cutting in front of me. You're the one that could have caused hurt. Okay? So words continued to go, just yelling back and forth. All I could see was his eyes and his mouth. He had a helmet on. And I saw something in his eye, and his whole body in the motorcycle came forward. And I just had a split reaction to defend myself. I put my hands out in front of me, extended my arms, and
you pushed
backed
him.
up. Correct.
Pushed him.
Correct.
Okay, and what happened when you pushed him?
He jumped off the bike.
Okay.
As I'm backing away, he went to lay the bike down. He had his hand on the handle, the grip, and as he laid it down, it kind of spun a little bit. It revved up. I saw the back tire turn. It made contact with the ground. The bike rotated once, twice. He reached back, and I guess it's the throttle or whatever, and stopped from revving. He started jumping around, yelling and screaming, and I continued to proceed to my car, backing up, got into my car. He yelled about calling the police. I said, go right ahead, and I'm going to. I wanted to leave the scene because I felt unsafe. I didn't know what he was going to do.
Well, Sullivan, why did you get out of your car in the first place?
It's just reaction. I thought he hit my car. It was an accident. We need to get out and exchange information. I didn't know he did it aggressively.
Well, once you realized what it was, why didn't you quickly get back into your car instead of standing out there in the street with traffic all around you, screaming and yelling at him?
I don't know. I guess I wanted him to hear my side. He's saying I tried to kill him. I said, no, I didn't. You're the one that did something evasive and illegal.
Now, at some point, you say that the police arrived and you told them your side of the story. You told them your side of the story. Is that right, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. But then the next day, you went to the police station.
Correct.
To file a supplementary report.
Correct.
Why?
Because when I came out, we had first looked, it was dark. They tried to look at the flashlight, and they couldn't see the dent in my car. You could see like the outline of a foot on each side. So when I came out the next morning, sun out, you could see the dent. So I went back to the police station just so they could put that in record that there was damage to my car.
All right. Can I see the initial police reports, please?
I had all the supplementals
Now,
attached. Do you
when
want
were
those?
you arrested for assault?
I wasn't arrested. I was charged.
Charged.
I received it in mid-April.
Good. Can I see it, please? It says that you did willfully and unlawfully use force upon a person, to wit, Anthony Von Prague. You did do that.
To protect myself, yes.
Well, I haven't heard protecting yourself. He didn't put his hands on you.
He had a 600-pound motorcycle that himself and the motorcycle moved towards me.
You say in your initial report to the police, you don't say that he lunged forward with his motorcycle. What you say is she got out of the car, she saw Von Prague. It's at one point she thought she saw Von Prague and his motorcycle lunge toward her. Out of instinct and self-defense, she put her hands out and pushed Von Prague on his right side. Okay? So you don't say that he moved the motorcycle. You say to the police, you thought he moved the motorcycle.
Okay.
I haven't gotten to him yet. Go.
Okay, Your Honor, I was proceeding in the number 1 lane here with my motorcycle. The defendant was trying to cross over into the number 3 lane, which is the northbound lane getting onto the freeway here, and she had blocked traffic essentially in all 3 lanes at this point. Her car, the majority of her car was in lane number 2, but the rear of her car was still sticking into lane number 1. I proceeded around the rear of her vehicle, opposite of her path of travel. There was about at least half the lane exposed there, and I continued on. The next thing I know, both my mirrors are filled with lights, and I look at my mirrors and I see a vehicle coming up about twice my speed, straddling the center line. So this vehicle had now gone in, come back into the number 1 lane and number 2 lane, and she went by me while swerving to the left slightly, and I was between the curb and the side of her car.
So she passed you.
No, she buzzed me. She went by me fast and in my lane.
I understand that. After, listen to what I'm saying, sir.
Yes.
You say she buzzed you.
Correct.
After she's shown her lights in your mirror.
Correct.
You say she passed you.
That is correct.
That's
yes.
all I want you to
yes.
say. You say buzzed, I say
yes.
passed. She passed
She
you.
went past my vehicle.
Right.
And she went by at such a high rate of speed, I actually felt the wind of her car through my armored pants. We came to a stop. Actually, she was in the number 2 lane, as she described. I was still in the number 1 lane. Her vehicle was very close to the center line. I don't think it was crossing over the line into the number 1 lane, but she was very close to me. And I was lined up with her rear quarter panel. I was yelling at her because I had no idea why she had just done this to me, why she had just nearly
Maybe she was a nut.
Maybe she was.
And what do you do when you come in contact with a nut and you're on a motorcycle and they're in a car?
Well, Your Honor,
what is the smart thing to do?
The smart thing to do would be just to proceed in the opposite direction.
That's right.
That's right.
But
That's
you
right.
opted not to do that. You
No.
opted to tell her how dumb she was.
Well,
by getting her attention.
That is true.
By kicking her car.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. So I knocked on her car once.
No, I'm not finished with my...
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. As you would say, I acted badly.
Yes, you did.
And
perfect. Just to say, I have an acknowledgement that you acted badly.
I am willing to fess up in anything I've done in the situation. So
go ahead.
So at this point, I knocked on the car once with the side of my boot.
No. Listen, I want you to use the word that I'm going to use.
Kick. I kicked her car once with my boot.
You know he's a fast learner.
Yes.
Right?
I kicked her car once with the side of my boot. This is the boot here.
Right, now that we've used the boot, could you put the boot on the floor, please?
Yes. I brought the other one in case you want them. So at this point, her door flew open. She came running up to my right-hand side, and I was still in the motorcycle. It's a 600-pound motorcycle. The motorcycle was in gear. Both hands were on the handlebar, and the kickstand was in the up position. And at this point, the traffic was just beginning to proceed, starting with the number 3 lane and starting to work its way over.
Okay.
So
the lanes weren't going anywhere because her car was stopped.
That's correct.
Go ahead.
Yes. So she comes flying out of her car. She says, "Why the F did you kick my car?" And I said, "Why the F did you try to kill me? What are you trying to do? You're trying to kill me." And she ran through the list of names, a-hole, et cetera, et cetera. And I was sitting there. She was in an absolute rage. At this point, traffic was continuing to move. Cars were honking behind us. And I looked at her and I said, "Get back in your car, you fat bee."
Go ahead.
She looked at me. She started shaking. And
quiet!
And she shoved me as hard as she could from my right-hand side. Well, once she shoved me, the motorcycle went over. And at this point, I had to take my hand off the clutch. And that's why the motorcycle started spinning around in circles. I luckily had landed on my feet. And I said, "I'm calling the cops." I went over and got her license plate number even before I shut off the motorcycle, and went back, shut off the motorcycle. At this point, she proceeded to the number 3 lane, got onto the freeway, northbound. I called the police, and I told them what direction she was proceeding, and they went and sent a separate police car and went and chased her down and brought her back to the scene.
That's not correct.
Well, where were you stopped?
I went to the hospital, which is straight ahead. I did not get on 101 north
Just a
or
minute.
south.
So you went to the hospital?
Correct.
Go ahead.
I called Twin City Police Department, and they told me there were policemen on site to go ahead and return to the incident.
Okay, so you came back by yourself? Or
Correct.
You came back by yourself?
She came back following a police car.
That is not correct.
Well,
Okay.
it is correct.
No, it is
She
not
came back
correct.
following the police car, otherwise she wouldn't even known where we were stopped.
I know exactly where the incident was.
Don't speak to him.
In talking to... I'm sorry.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Lee Sullivan claims fellow motorist Nico Van Prague kicked a dent into the side of her car.
I'd like to see the damage done to your motorcycle.
These are the pictures of the damage, and this is the written estimate. Those pictures were taken the day after. As you'll see from the pictures, the corner of the side bag is ground flat, which confirms the fact that the motorcycle was in gear when it fell over. I also have an affidavit from the BMW dealer who inspected it.
Not necessary.
Okay.
Okay, now let me see the damage caused when Mr. Van Prague kicked your car, which you did, sir. Is that right?
This is the
I
car.
knocked
Is
her
that
car.
right?
I knocked her in her car once, yes.
You kicked her car. You didn't knock her with your tongue, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
You kicked her with your boot.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you kicked her, and you were angry.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you didn't tap her. You kicked it, and you caused a little dimple in her car.
I'll demonstrate to you that I don't have the ability of doing that with this boot or my ability of sitting on the motorcycle.
And how are you going to demonstrate that to me, sir?
Well, I have the boot here, and I also have photographs of me on the motorcycle with a kicking action. It's a very high motorcycle. It's 600 pounds. It has a 33-inch seat height, and I'm only 5'11", so I'm actually on my tippy toes when I'm sitting on the motorcycle. I have a very limited range of motion when I'm sitting on the motorcycle.
Unless
so,
you're really angry.
Well, even if I'm angry, Your Honor.
Can I see a picture of the whole car?
I will show you these pictures.
I'm sorry, I do not have one.
Well, where is this ding in your car?
I have estimates here, but it's in the rear driver's side of the vehicle.
Your Honor, that's a BMW 7 Series. It's very thick sheet metal. If I could do that with any boot, I would at least have to be off the motorcycle. It's
Well, I
also
don't know
above
that,
the
sir.
bumper in an inset place, and there's no damage to the tail light or the surrounding bumper. So it would be a very difficult angle of attack to be able to get into
Well,
that
let me ask you
area.
this question, sir. Why would you think that Miss Sullivan would go and file a supplementary report the next day?
I think to defend herself, because it was so clear that she had assaulted me, and it was so clear that she had caused damage to my motorcycle that
Okay,
I thought she...
that's a reasonable explanation. Eventually, these charges were dismissed. Is that right?
Correct.
Good. Were you notified of the dismissal of these battery charges, sir?
I had a discussion with the second DA who took over the case about 2 weeks prior to the trial, and he said that he would like to discuss the evidence with me. He felt that it should be best handled in small claims court.
Okay.
And at that time, I had explained to him that I would rather be done with the issue than take it to court again. But I was disappointed in their decision.
And what happened that day was Mr. Van Prague was in a hurry, and he wanted to get around you, which he did. And that irritated you because he probably went around to your senses too fast. Instead of letting it rest, which would have avoided any and all confrontation, you decided to, at night, blind him with your lights by flashing your high beams. Unnecessary. Then Mr. Van Prague did something that was more stupid than your flashing your lights at him. He thought that you were trying to hurt him, and he didn't know what kind of a nut you were. So instead of just letting it rest and proceeding on his way, where were you going, Mr. Van Prague?
Home.
Home. He decided to kick your car. Very stupid. Now, the next stupid thing that happened was you, not knowing what kind of a nut Mr. Von Prague is, decide to get out of your car and confront him by saying, "What the blank did you do to my car?" So you knew what happened because you got out and said to him, "What the blank are you doing?" And that car's all around you. He responded, "And what the blank are you doing trying to kill me?" And as my father's joke would go, the fight was on. But then, Miss Sullivan, you did something that you're not permitted to do. You put your hands on him, and I find that you were not defending yourself. I find that you were furious, and in a fit of anger, you pushed him off his motorcycle and caused about $660 worth of damage to his motorcycle. That's what you did.
Not in anger?
Yes, it was. It was in anger because you got out of the car angry. You were angry enough at him to put your brights on when he passed you instead of letting it rest. You were that angry. Instead of just letting it rest, you flashed your brights on him. I mean, I've been driving a car for more years than you're old, and I'm telling you, the only time you do that is when you are really PO'd. And if that's not the only time you do it, then you're a very bad driver. In any event, you're not getting a nickel to fix the ding in your car. All I'm doing, sir, is taking out what I consider the $60 that it probably will take to fix the ding in our car from the $660 that you want to fix your motorcycle. And since you behaved equally as badly that day, would you say that that's true, sir? Because you put your foot on her car in anger, giving you a judgment on your counterclaim for $600. That's all. Step back.
Parties are excused.
It's sad to think that a woman can't protect herself.
Well, I think we both acted badly.
A man admittedly aggressively hitting my car.
I was really upset about being run off the road.
I felt threatened. His bike came towards me.
And it was the wrong thing to do, but I was trying to get an explanation as to why she threatened my life.
Just pay attention to my own self and ignore anybody else's responses or reactions.
I would look the other way, and have been since.
Health consultant Ann Machado is suing her former friend, community worker Denise Faulkner, for an unpaid loan to leave her husband. Denise is countersuing, claiming Ann vandalized her husband's truck.
That's case number 62 on the calendar in the matter of Machado versus Faulkner. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have seats, please.
Ms. Machado, you and the defendant were friends, according to what I've read in the complaint, and you claim a series of loans to her while she was separated from her husband. Ms. Faulkner said that while she acknowledges that you gave her money while she was separated from her husband in the process of getting a divorce at that time, she said that they were gifts. There was never any expectation of the money being returned. In addition, she is counterclaiming because she says that during the separation, while she was separated, you vandalized a truck that was jointly owned by the defendant and her husband. So that's her counterclaim. How long do you know each other?
Probably about 20 years.
When did she separate from her husband?
June of last year.
And when was the first loan, and for what?
I told her years before I'd recognized that there was something wrong in the relationship and asked Denise verbally, did Mike
I
ever
can't
hurt?
hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous. I only eat litigants on Thursday, and today is not a Thursday, I don't think. Go ahead.
I had met Mike, and I witnessed his behavior, and it wasn't appropriate, the way he talked to his wife or his children. And I asked Denise, on the side, did he ever hurt her or abuse her? And she denied it at the time, no. But my incentive intuition said that she was not being honest. In the years after that, I witnessed him being verbally abusive to his children. I told Mike, face to face, I said, if you're not careful, your children are going to learn to be afraid of you. And he looked at me dead in the eye and said, I like it like that. And
what kind of verbal abuse? What do you
very
in
verbal
front of
abuse.
you?
Oh, yes.
In front of you? Like what?
He treated his family like dogs. I mean, I talk to my dog better than he talks to his family. He shows no respect. He doesn't feel any duties to take care of the house. He's pulling in 2 jobs. And he felt that his only responsibility was to drive them to and from school, which he lives for control.
So that bothered you, but evidently for a long time she lived with it.
I couldn't do anything about it until she came to me in June last year, and I was just ecstatic that she was going to claim her life back and save herself and the kids from him.
What did she say when she came to you in June of last year?
She was under the protection of a women's haven at the time and said that Mike was being served with the divorce papers, being escorted out of the home. Soon after that, we found out that Mikey cleaned out the bank account. She had nothing to her name, so I gave her $500 just to get her going. And then her bills started bouncing. Her water, her garbage, her electricity, her house was in foreclosure. Everything was falling apart. And Mike kept calling and threatening her that she better not lose that damn house.
When was the first loan?
First loan was the attorney.
Tell me about that.
She didn't have an attorney representing her. And her kids do BMX riding, and the grandparents participate in most of that because they drive them out of state and all over everywhere. Anyway, he did all that, and she didn't want to take that privilege away, but said, that, yes, I'll give them, the grandparents, custody just to do that BMX training.
His parents. Go ahead.
And in the process of getting that, she realized after the custody, after she got the paperwork back from the first judgment, that she realized, she sat at my kitchen table and just cried. She said the light bulb finally came on that she gave 50% of her custody rights away to the grandparents, and she just was devastated she, as her mother, or their mother, would do that.
Okay. Tell me about the attorney and the loan.
Okay, before I got the attorney, I told Denise we needed to get somebody representing us. I can't afford to just front the money. But you need to fight. You've got the nerve to leave him now. The time is the essence. She didn't have the money. I loaned her the money, and it was supposed to be paid back through the sale of her house.
So the house was going to be sold?
Yes.
Eventually?
Eventually. As soon as we got the house in foreclosure, it was 3 months behind. The paperwork was already in. I stopped it from going into foreclosure, but before I did any of that, I told Denise, I said, you can't afford to keep it. If I pay it off and it's bank owned, that money's lost. You have to sell the house.
How much did you give her for the attorney?
$2,000.
And how much did you give her in order to prevent the house from going into foreclosure?
$3,133.
Did she give you $2,000 for the attorney? I'm just
No.
asking the amount of money that
I don't know
exchanged.
what the amount was. She's the one that always dealt with the attorney.
Okay. And did she make up the payments on the house in the amount of $3,133?
Not that I'm aware of.
Can I see proof of payments, please, both to the attorney and... Shh! You say you don't know. I have to see proof.
These are the canceled,
right?
These are the canceled checks for the attorney.
What about the bank money for the house?
Since it was through, I called and paid it on my Visa.
Okay.
And this is how it came out. I didn't give him check numbers, but yet it still comes out as check numbers on my bank statement.
Okay. There came a time, according to your complaint, that you found out that Miss Faulkner had reconciled with her husband. When was that?
It was the end of January. Denise wouldn't even get on the phone with me. She was afraid that the house was bugged or that Mike was listening somehow, and that she would be reprimanded for it.
When did you have the first discussion with her about reimbursing you for this money?
We didn't. I got a hold of her finally on the phone by April 1st at her work, and she couldn't talk. She said she'd meet with me the next day at 11 o'clock, and she never showed up, and I couldn't get a hold of her after that.
What is that on?
This I bought for Denise to get Mike's true person on tape, his verbal abuse, and I gave this to her for protection so that we'd have something to follow through with our attorney. You know, something to back up this true person, because he puts on a good cover. But
all right, Miss Faulkner, when did you separate from your husband?
July of 2003.
Why?
We were having some problems. I was working 2 jobs, and he was laid off at that time, so we were having financial problems.
Well, people who have financial problems usually don't separate. Did you at any time go to the plaintiff and tell her that you were under the protection of any organization that assists people who are the victims of domestic violence?
No, I was never.
Were you ever?
No.
Did you ever go to the courts to seek an order of protection?
No.
Really? No police ever came?
Yes.
I want you to listen to my words very carefully, madam.
Okay.
And before you say no, 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 whatever dealings you have with the courts are very easy for me to ascertain. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes, I do.
Very easy. It's a phone call. It was my business for 25 years. So when I ask you a question, you'll give me a truthful answer.
Okay.
And in this proceeding, I don't give a rat's behind about what your relationship is with your husband. Do we understand each other?
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And Machado says former friend Denise Faulkner owes for a loan to leave her husband, Mike. Ann claims Mike was abusing Denise and their kids.
Now, did you ever seek the protection of the courts in separating from your husband?
Yes, I did.
And did you tell the courts when you sought that protection that your husband had been abusive to you?
Yes.
And how long have you and your husband been married?
19 years in July.
And how long did you maintain that order of protection in place?
It was good for 30 days, I believe.
Did you extend it beyond the 30 days?
No, I did not.
Why not?
Because we...
No, don't look over there. Don't look over there. Don't look up here. Look here.
Because we were working things out. He obtained an attorney, and I didn't need any protection. He was staying away, and we were fine.
You were working things out in order to get a divorce. He had maintained had retained an attorney. At that time, did you have an attorney?
No, ma'am.
You didn't have an attorney because you couldn't afford an attorney?
Yes.
Let's be very careful what you say to me. I'm not looking at him yet. I'll get to him in a minute.
Okay.
Good. Now, did there come a time when you went to the plaintiff's home after you consented to either a temporary or a final custody order which gave away 50% or a substantial part of the custody of your children to their grandparents? The answer is yes or no?
Yes.
And did you, in fact, have a court proceeding where you consented to the grandparents having a substantial portion of time with the children?
I believe so. I didn't understand the paperwork. That's why she was helping me.
Good. So you didn't understand what was going on?
Yes.
In court.
Yes.
And your husband at that time, put your papers down, and your husband at that time had an attorney. And you did not?
No, ma'am.
So you were grateful when the plaintiff volunteered to, let us say, give you money for an attorney.
I was overwhelmed.
You were overwhelmed.
That she wanted to help me out like that.
Well, you were desperate. Would you say desperate is a better word?
Yes.
Yes. Then there came a time, I assume, that you fell behind in mortgage payments. Is that right?
Yes.
And at that time, in July, August, and September, I want you to listen to my question very carefully, because we're not talking about 10 years ago. We're talking about less than a year ago. July, August, and September. How much money was your husband giving you to support your 4 children?
None.
Not you. You were working.
Oh, in September, he started making payments to me because he finally got a job.
Well, what was he doing in July and August?
I don't know. We didn't have contact.
He was eating.
He was living with his parents.
What kind of work does he do?
He's a diesel mechanic.
So he can work at anything. He's a healthy man. Can work construction. Can drive a taxi.
Yes,
he can
ma'am.
pick up cans in the street. He could do something to earn money, right? When you have 4 children, that's what you do. You don't sit in your parents' house and watch TV for 3 months without giving your children money to live on, right?
Correct.
But he did. Nothing. She helped you, right?
Yes, she obtained a lawyer for me.
She helped you
she did.
survive.
Yes, she did.
When your husband was sitting
But I
on
was
his
working
fat
2
behind
jobs.
doing nothing.
I was working
You were
2
working
jobs.
2
I was-
jobs. You
I was
were working.
doing
Listen to
fine.
me.
I was making
listen,
mortgage payments.
Listen to me. You were working 2 jobs to support yourself and your 4 children, and you still, according to you, fell behind in your mortgage payments. According to you, and you still didn't have money for an attorney. Your husband, on his fat behind, was sitting at his parents' house. He had money for an attorney. He retained an attorney. He didn't give you money, but he had money to give a lawyer, and he allowed the house to fall behind in its mortgage payments. So far, did I wrap that up in a ball pretty right?
That's correct.
Good.
No, didn't.
Say nothing. I got you. I've gotten you for 25 years. I've never met you before, sir, but I got you. The husband who couldn't afford to give you a dime in June, July, and August found the money to retain a lawyer, right?
Correct.
And the only one who helped you at that time is your friend.
Yes.
Is that
ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Who is not related to you by blood, right?
No.
Do you have a family?
I'm married. I've been married for 10 years. I have 2 kids, 5 and 9.
Right. Do you live on a trust fund?
No.
Do you work?
I'm a stay-at-home mom right now until my
So-
daughter goes to school.
So the money that you gave her was really family money, money that was earned by your husband outside the home.
And money
right?
we've saved for years.
And money you've saved. You got it, Miss Faulkner?
Yes, I do.
You know where your friends are?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Okay, good. Is your husband working now?
Yes, he is.
When did you reconcile with him?
January 26th of 2004.
Now, I'd like to know the discussion that you had with your husband about repaying the plaintiff for the $3,133 that she laid out to bring your mortgage payments and your other utilities current. What discussion, if any, did you have with your husband?
We didn't discuss it because it was a gift.
No. No, listen to me. You never had that discussion
No,
with
we
Prince
didn't.
Charming?
No.
No. Is that because you're afraid of him?
No, ma'am.
Really? Mm-hmm. Good. Because I tell you something, I'm not afraid of him. I eat him up for breakfast.
Okay.
You're never supposed to live with a person that you're afraid of, Ms. Faulkner. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand completely.
If you live with somebody that you're afraid of with cause, then you're a fool. And you're a bad mother. Because if you live with somebody who's a bully and intimidating, that's what your children see. I don't live in your house, but I assume that you're not a nut.
No, I am not. I'm very balanced.
Well, if you're very balanced, and
great
finally, after 19 years, you decided that you had had enough and sought the protection of the court and said that your husband was abusive and you needed an order of protection, I assume you weren't lying. So all I'm telling you is nobody is supposed to live with somebody that is abusive or frightening.
Yes.
We understand each other?
Yes.
You owe her the money. Now, you want to tell me about this vandalizing of the family truck. You want to get into that with me?
My husband would.
Oh, I'd love to hear from him.
Okay.
Vandalizing the truck. Let me hear. When?
Approximately in October.
October, approximately October.
Yes,
October
ma'am.
has 31 days.
I don't have the police report on that part on me. I have the
You don't have
pictures.
what?
I have evidence proving of situations that were coming up before the actual damage to the truck happened.
I don't. Listen to me.
Okay.
Give me a date that your truck was vandalized and what proof that you have, non-hearsay proof that the plaintiff had any dealings with your truck.
Well, ma'am, how about that?
How about giving me the date that your truck was vandalized?
October 19th.
October 19th.
Yes, ma'am.
2003.
Yes, ma'am.
Where was your truck vandalized on
It was
October
parked in the front of my father and them's house, ma'am.
It was parked in front of?
My father and them's house.
Oh. What time had it been parked there?
Overnight, ma'am. I get off work, I'm home about 12:30 at night.
And what kind of damage was done to the truck?
I have pictures here, ma'am.
I'd like to take a look at them.
There's also events leading up to that, ma'am.
Listen to me very, very carefully, sir.
Okay.
This is my space.
Yes, ma'am.
You will answer my questions
Yes, ma'am.
in a very tight, controlled way.
Okay.
Somebody threw acid on your truck.
Yes,
some
ma'am.
sort of acid on your truck.
Yes, ma'am.
And I see damaged it severely.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. October 19th, 2003.
Okay.
First, let's have the police report.
I don't have that. Like I said, I left that at home, and that can be gotten if it needs to be called for. Yes,
Is there
ma'am.
something wrong with you? Where
No,
did you
ma'am,
think
there's
you were
not.
coming today, sir? If you have a police report from October 19th, when you reported this to the police and you left it at home, that's the only thing that I'm going to see. That's an official document. Other than that, do you have a witness who saw her vandalizing your truck?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Good.
Please
That's all I have- That's
to
all I have to hear, sir. Do you have a witness who saw her
ma'am.
vandalizing your truck? Do you have a confession that she made to the police of her vandalizing your truck?
No, ma'am.
Your counterclaim's dismissed. Sit down.
Ma'am, okay. Do you have
Good.
anything that shows
Did you
as
hear
far
what
as
I
her
said?
abuse to her?
Did
though?
you hear what I said?
Yes, ma'am, I sure did. But
Good.
did you
Then
see
I
this
want you
right
to
here?
close your mouth.
Okay, without
You
proof,
owe her
you don't want this.
$5,000. Judgment for the plaintiff. Your counterclaim is dismissed. That's all. No good deed goes unpunished, madam.
He threatened to kill her a couple times. We've got police reports stating it, neighbors that witnessed it for years, and everybody is afraid of Mike.
She wanted to be with my wife. Her whole thing was she wanted the house to go to foreclosure so she could buy it.
He's nuts. He is whacked. It's all control. He'll make up whatever he has to do. Back up the story.
How controlling and interfering she is. She's the one that wanted me to leave my husband.
I don't like him for not being nice to Denise and his kids. He's a rotten human being.
I'm more submissive, and she's been controlling all our lives.
I just wish the best for my girlfriend. I hope she does get the nerve up again to leave and claim her life and give her kids the future that they should have.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Nunemaker versus Nunemaker, step forward, please.
Salesman Bruce Nunemaker is suing his son, truck driver Shad Nunemaker, for unpaid credit card charges. Shad claims he's never stopped making payments.
Mr. Nunemaker, this is your son.
Yes.
According to what I read in your complaint, 2 years ago, your son ran into some difficulty with a truck that he owned for business. And the truck broke down, requiring a substantial amount of repairs. You loaned him the money to make... Stop playing with your papers. You loaned him the money to make the repairs on your truck through your credit card. There was an agreement that he would pay you back, and he had been making the payments faithfully on your credit card from 2002 until March of 2004. So far, am I correct?
Yes.
Is that right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And then he stopped making the payments. You want at least part of the balance of what is owed because the maximum in this court is $5,000. The defendant says that you breached the agreement with you with regard to repayment of this loan, so the loan was null and void. And he'll explain that to me in a moment. When, in 2002, was this loan made?
May 2nd of 2002.
And under what circumstances was it made?
Shad was on a trip. He drives over the road, and during the trip, he was outside of Colorado, about 150 miles outside of Denver, rather, in Grand Junction, Colorado, and he called me and said that his truck, the engine had blown.
What kind of truck did you have, sir?
It's a Freightliner. I have a photo here.
I'd like to see it.
That's the exterior and then,
Okay.
interior.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
He told me on the phone that he was unable to arrange his own financing for the $12,000 engine in his truck, and without that, he was out of work.
Now, tell me, sir, why did you stop making payments? You were making the payments to your father.
Ma'am, I never stopped making payments. As a matter of fact, I have a copy of all of my checks, and I also have a copy of check number 619 for $247.54, which I just called yesterday, and my bank says it has not cleared, which tells me that for some reason or another, Bruce does not want to cash the check.
Did you receive a check that you did not cash, sir?
I cashed it a couple days ago, yes.
So you did cash it?
I did.
Just a few days ago. So what are you doing here?
That was a check for March. At the time of our separation, he was living with me in my home.
I understand that.
And it came to a point where we came to some conflict.
I understand that. And he moved out, and he moved out. You told him to move out, and he was angry. But you just cashed a check, sir, that he paid for, and he said he's paid for the truck, and he intends to continue to honor the agreement. So what are you doing here?
That's not true.
What's not true?
The truth of the matter is that he sent me a check after we separated on March 19th. Sent me a check for partial payment on the March payment. At the day that we separated, when the papers were served by the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department, he verbalized that, and prior to that too, that I would never see the rest of that money.
Well, he was speaking out at the top of it, he was speaking out of anger because he acknowledges that this is his debt, and he's acknowledged that in open court. Is that right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. You understand, Mr. Nunemaker, that if you fail, now that we have an acknowledged debt, it doesn't have to be in writing anymore. It's an acknowledged debt under oath.
With no stipulation?
So, listen to me. It's an acknowledged debt under oath. You understand that if you fail to pay this debt, your father has a lien on your truck. Do you understand that? I want you to understand that.
No, I don't know that.
Well, then I am telling you that. Your father has a lien on your truck should you fail to pay it. It's exactly the same thing as if you had a written contract with him, a written loan agreement with him. Do I make myself clear?
Thus far, yes.
Good. I suggest, sir, that you make those payments on time every month.
Ma'am?
Yes.
May I add something?
It's very important. Before I moved out, I told him that if he breached our agreement, he would not see it. And he said, that's fine. I'll take the loss to get you out of my life.
What are you talking about breach? Tell me.
The agreement was that I would continue to make payments and still live in his house and do my studies.
Well, that's what you wrote in your answer that I didn't believe when I read it in your answer. Are you telling me, sir, that when you called your father from the road in May of 2002 and said, Dad, I blew the engine on my truck and I don't have the finances to fix it. Can you lend me the money? And your father said yes. And what you want me to believe is, and you said to your father, and I will pay you back as long as you are nice to me, watch your temper, let me live in your house and continue my studies. And your father said yes, under those conditions I will. Without speaking! Under those conditions, I will give you the $12,000. Is that what you want me to believe? Get a life.
We did not make an agreement, ma'am.
Listen to me, sir.
We did not discuss an agreement.
Listen to me, sir. I've just advised your son, under oath, your son has acknowledged this loan to you. There were no conditions on the loan. I find that there were no conditions on the loan. I will enter an order that should he miss 2 payments, you have leave to enter a judgment against him in the amount of the balance owed on the truck, and you may enter a lien against that truck in order to execute on it. You can sell it. Do you understand?
I do. What about the 2
months?
Goodbye. He has issues from his childhood that he's still trying to work through.
The animosity began, I don't know, years and years ago when he developed a chemical imbalance.
Chad left us once before for 3 years. We didn't know if he was alive or dead.
Bruce said that he would let the thing go, and then he sued me 2 days later. Can you understand why I was a little bit confused whether or not I was supposed to be making payments?
I didn't forgive the debt. I said, I'll have to deal with it in whatever fashion I have to go.
If you want to go upward, you have to get away from people that are trying to drag you down.
I hope that there's healing for Chad's spirit and our family.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Farrell versus Monaco. Step forward, please.
Retired engineer Tom Farrell is suing his daughter's former guardian, property manager Victoria Monaco, for the return of money given towards child care expenses. Victoria is countersuing for unpaid rent and additional expenses.
Mr. and Mrs. Farrell, I assume this is your daughter. Tell me your first name.
Marcy.
Marcy. Stand up next to your folks. Marcy, I have a couple of questions for you.
Yes.
How old are you?
15.
Well, Marcy was going through a difficult teenage period. And according to your complaint, after several failed attempts at other arrangements, you found the defendant who indicated she was prepared to let Marcy live with her. The arrangement was that she would be paid $50 a week. You advanced her $1,000. Marcy stayed how many weeks?
I stayed about 2 weeks before I went to a residence.
To a residence?
Residence, well, it's a part of my program.
Stayed 2 weeks, and you want the rest of your money back. That's what the case is about. Yeah. Ms. Monaco says that, yes, you advanced her the $1,000, but during the time that your daughter was with her for that 2-week period, she spent a heck of a lot more than $1,000, and she's counterclaiming for $1,600 for a variety of things. How did you find Miss Monaco?
We met about 4 years ago. We lived in the same area. Our children went to school together.
This is her son?
Yes.
So the kids were friendly?
Correct.
Okay.
So when the time came, Marcy, I think, initially spoke with the defendant about staying with her. They'd always gotten along well together. We'd always gotten along well together. I met with Vicki. We talked about it. We agreed on $50 a week for housing and food. She indicated that was more than enough. My wife and I would pay for all other expenses, schooling, education, transportation, medical, whatever else needed. That was only for food and housing. After the 2-week period, things weren't working out. Marcy had to go to residence, which is part of the EDIP program that she's in through the juvenile justice system. So when it was time to come back, the defendant was in the arrangements of moving her household, looking for a new place to live. She said at the time that the reason for that was She had an abusive relationship with her boyfriend, trying to get away from him, needed some front money to get on with her life. So we were willing to advance her the $1,000 so that she could get a head start, get out of there and all that. The 2 weeks that Marcy was there, we'd already paid her that $100 for her. We were even at that point in time.
So you'd already given her the $100 for the 2 weeks, and this was $1,000, an advance of $1,000.
Was an advance for, after she got moved into the new home, everything was settled there. She was going to let us know when that was. We were going to get Marcy moved back over there and start life as we hoped it would be a good situation. And then we never heard from her.
Now, they paid you the $100 pursuant to agreement, $50 a week for the time that Marcy was with you, and they advanced you $1,000. Why shouldn't they get it back?
Your Honor, they did not give me $100. And the $1,000 that he did give me that I received was for first, last, and security to move into a home. So Tom and Barbara have not given me anything towards taking care of Marcy.
Just 1 second. How many people moved into your new home?
Well, there was myself, my son Marco, and my boyfriend. He would come and go.
Well, then why in the world would they? You have 2 adults and your child. Why in the world are they responsible for your first, last, and security?
They're not responsible for all of it.
So why don't you give them their $1,000 back?
Your Honor, they were going to pay for half of it.
What?
It cost $2,700 to move in.
Shh, listen to me. Why would they pay anything towards your moving in to a new residence with yourself, a very tall, able-bodied boyfriend who wears a lot of gold jewelry, and your 13-year-old son? Miss Monaco, you explain that to me.
Marcy was with me in the home.
So what?
Well, he agreed to pay and help me in a better home, which he states right in here.
Well, you show me where he agreed to pay for
well, I can show you where...
last, and security.
No, it's not stated like that. It's stated for a better home.
Let me see it. This says, after a week of negotiating, we met at Wachovia Bank on 5504 and signed a contract for a prepayment of child care for our daughter so the defendant could move into a better home. So what he's saying here is he agreed to give you $1,000 advance because you needed cash to move into this new home, and that money would be offset for the $50 a week that he had agreed to give you for the support of his daughter. You get it? That's what this says, if that's what you're showing me. Don't go like this. That's what it says. Now, you have a contract?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I see it, please?
We also have a copy of the $100 check.
No,
Oh, we didn't have that.
Oh. Okay.
You need to.
This says, Vicky's previous boyfriend, that's him, Ramon, shall be excluded from contact with Vicky or her family by means of a restraining order while Marcy is in her custody. That's what you signed. If Marcy is away from Vicky's custody or residence for any reason for periods of a week or more, the balance of the child care prepayment must be returned to the Farrells at the rate of $50 a week. Don't you read?
Yes, I do.
Well, explain that to me.
I'm trying to explain to you, Your Honor, that $1,000 was for a better home.
Listen to me.
Okay.
That's not what this says. It's signed, it's notarized by a notary public. That's not what your contract says.
Isn't my housing part of child care? Wouldn't my housing be part of child care?
Just a minute. Doesn't she understand the rules? The rules are I ask the questions, you answer the questions.
Okay.
Madam, you signed it. So you must know more about Ramon than I do.
At that time, I was under a lot of pressure, and I knew that I wasn't going to put a restraining order. I don't believe it was so mandatory that that be done at that time because Marcy was in the home with Ramon 3 weeks prior to Tom and I even sitting down and discussing this.
Why did you sign this agreement? So, you have to give them back their $1,000. And in addition, you have a counterclaim for a whole bunch of nonsense that she did damage to your stove. You want moving costs because you moved with the lovely Ramon into a house and that they should pay for it. You want a whole bunch of things. Let me suggest this to you. Get a job. And so should Ramon. Pay your own bills, pay your own expenses, take care of your own selves, take care of your own children. Your counterclaim is dismissed. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,000. Goodbye and good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you step out?
We do appreciate what she initially tried to do.
I thought Judge Judy was fair.
Well, I think the contract said it all.
The fact that it was $50, only $50 a week was definitely not enough.
That was the arrangement that she brought to us.
Ramon was the one that took Marcy to school. Ramon was the one that picked her friends up.
He was abusive, and she needed to get rid of him.
He was there for Marcy. There was an abusive relationship, in my opinion, without any doubt. I care about Marcy. I still do, and I wish her the best. I hope the best for her, and I hope she stays alive.
Administrative assistant Michelle Simpson is suing her daughter's ex-boyfriend, 22-year-old house painter Kyle Scaife, for his share of a trip to Jamaica. Kyle says he was a guest on the vacation.
This is case number 261 on the calendar in the matter of Simpson versus Scaife. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Ms. Simpson, you were taking a family vacation to Jamaica.
That's correct.
And at the time of this vacation, this lovely young man was your daughter's boyfriend.
That's correct.
It is your claim that you agreed to advance him the money to go on this vacation with the agreement that he would, when the vacation was over, pay you back.
That's correct.
You did take him on the vacation, paid for him.
Mm-hmm.
He and your daughter have now parted company, and he has never paid you back.
That's correct.
And Mr. Scaife says that he had a wonderful time on vacation.
Right.
But he was your guest, right?
Right.
Who was this?
This is my roommate at the time. We were invited. Her daughter lived with us. He was a witness.
Did you go on the vacation too?
No, ma'am.
Just he went.
Yes, ma'am.
You didn't want to go to Jamaica?
I wanted to, but she wouldn't pay for me.
Oh, step up. Tell me your name.
Justin Runyon,
How old are you, Justin?
23.
And you were living with Kyle and...
Natalie.
Natalie.
She lived with us, actually.
So tell me, Justin, when was this trip?
I think it was like May of last year.
And Natalie told you about the trip?
Yes, ma'am. She came over to our house and was all excited and said that...
Look at me. No, look at me.
She told Kyle that he could go with them for free.
She did?
Yes, ma'am.
She said, oh, you can come with us and you can come for free.
Yes, ma'am.
And didn't you say, can't I go for free too?
I joked around about it, but...
Well, tell me how you joked around about it.
Well, Natalie...
Come on, tell me what you said. You remember exactly that she said, please, I want you to come to Jamaica. You can go for free. So if you remember that so clearly, I want you to tell me what it is that she said to you and what you said to her. Think carefully.
Natalie told Kyle that he could go for free, and Kyle's like, well, are you sure about that? And she's like, even if we break up, you don't ever have to pay my mom back.
Oh. Oh. It's like I'm watching Dumb and Dumber. Huh? Right? Don't you love it?
I'm just trying to figure out which one is Jim Carrey.
Yeah, so you're right. Me too. All right, Justin. Thank you very much. You've been most enlightening. You may sit down now.
It's like shooting fish in a barrel. It's incredible.
Wonderful. It's just wonderful. I don't even need a good night's sleep. Okay. Now, Kyle.
Yes, ma'am.
Last year, what were you doing to support yourself?
I was a bartender.
Were you working full-time?
Yes, ma'am.
So, get good tips? Nice-looking guy like you?
Sometimes tips were great. Sometimes we weren't so busy.
Well, you managed to support yourself, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Are you still working as a bartender?
No, ma'am.
What are you doing now?
I paint houses.
Got a girlfriend?
No, ma'am.
What happened with Natalie?
It just didn't work out.
She's a nice girl, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Come on, Natalie.
Thank you. Been wanting to play too.
You want to play too? No, I usually have all the fun. Natalie.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever tell Kyle in Justin's presence? Let's see if I can repeat that exactly. I want you to listen to me carefully, Justin, to make sure that I'm going to repeat it pretty much as you told me. That you wanted to take Kyle on a trip to Jamaica for free. He doesn't have to pay for anything. And even if you break up, he doesn't have to pay your mother back. That's what you told me, right?
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am, I did not.
Tell me about the trip to Jamaica, Natalie.
We had a great time.
Good.
Originally, my mother and myself and her best friend were scheduled to go on a trip. Kyle and I got a little serious, and he hinted around a lot. He would have liked to go. I didn't really mind that Kyle went. I mean, I was actually looking forward to him being there. I knew he did not have that kind of money, and neither did I, honestly. So when I ran it past Mom, I said, Mom, Kyle's kind of after me. He really kind of wants to go. You know, is there something we can do, whatever? And Mom said, can he borrow the money from his parents? Kyle said, no, that's not an option. Mom said, well, I can give him a loan. And at that time, we were expecting Kyle to get a settlement from an car accident that he had been in. And everything we did revolved around that settlement. Utility bills, cell phones, anything. He kept going back to that.
So he kept hoping to get this settlement check.
Yes, ma'am, he did. And in addition, when you asked him what happened with Natalie, you should ask him about his financial priorities and where his responsibilities are.
Well, why don't you tell me?
They're nowhere. They're video games, predominantly. Kyle was in between jobs most of the time. After his car accident, I actually paid his bills in he and Justin's home.
What kind of car accident were you in, Kyle?
I was rear-ended at a stoplight.
Were you the driver of the car?
Yes.
So you sued the car that hit you?
Just for medical bills and everything like that.
Kyle, did you sue through an attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
An attorney doesn't sue just for medical bills, Kyle. Attorney sues for pain and suffering, for your injuries, and to reimburse the company that paid your medical bills, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever get a settlement?
It's in litigation.
Look at me!
It's in litigation right now.
So you haven't gotten the settlement yet?
No, ma'am.
So what you were doing is really you were counting your chickens before they were hatched?
No, ma'am.
Ah, okay. So what kind of an arrangement, Natalie, did you make with Kyle for the trip?
Originally, I said, my mother will pay for you to go on the trip. However, we need to pay her $50 to $100 a month until you receive that settlement, assuming that it was going to be within the duration of the relationship, which I quickly realized that that wasn't going to be the case.
All right, Kyle.
Yes, ma'am.
How much did you give Miss Simpson towards the trip?
Nothing. As far as I knew, it was a gift.
Listen to me. Just answer my question. How much did you give her?
I haven't given anything.
Well, see, that is confusing to me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Shel Simpson and her daughter, Natalie Ballard, say Natalie's ex-boyfriend, Kyle Scaife, owes for his share of a trip to Jamaica.
Now, what do you do for a living?
I'm an administrative assistant.
You have a household?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Who lives in your household?
Right now, myself and my youngest daughter.
And are you the sole support of yourself and your youngest daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
How much do you earn a year?
Approximately $38,000.
Okay. Now, how much were you making last year?
Under $20,000 a year.
So you made a little more than half of what the plaintiff made, is that right?
Probably.
Right. And you only had to support
myself and her daughter.
You were supporting her daughter?
Well, we were doing it together.
Just a second. You were supporting her daughter?
We were doing it together, actually. It wasn't. I wasn't paying everything. We were both paying everything together.
So you were supporting
myself.
Right. Then why would you think that this lady who's running a household, taking care of a minor child, why do you think that she would decide to blow you to a $1,000 vacation?
I was actually shocked. You know, actually, I never asked.
I'm shocked, too. I want to tell you something, Kyle. It's shocking to me. Shocking. Because her daughter would have gone without you.
I'm sure
in a flash.
Yes, ma'am.
In a flash, she would have gone without you for a week, gotten a nice tan, come back, shown you pictures, and said, I had a great old time.
Yes, ma'am. Probably.
You don't want to be a bum, do you, Kyle?
I never asked.
No, you don't. Listen to me. You don't want to be a bum, do you?
No, ma'am.
You don't want to take things that should really be better spent on a child.
Of course not.
For you to go on a vacation, do you?
Well, I was invited to go on a vacation, and it sounded like a good idea.
I don't believe that, sir.
Well, that's the way it happened.
I don't believe that, sir. I believe that she advanced the money, and I believe she gave you a lot of latitude to pay it off because, you know, you were expecting some windfall from some bogus accident that hasn't come through yet. And you, like any other 21-year-old, are living in a fantasy world that you're going to turn out to be a millionaire because somebody rear-ended you even though you're not injured. He's going to be sorry he came here. When you went on this trip to Jamaica, did you participate in water sports?
No, ma'am.
Did he participate
Yes,
in water
ma'am.
sports? Sure he did. Sure he did. Did you go swimming?
Yes, ma'am.
What other water sports did he
I have
participate
one
in?
of him climbing a palm tree.
Oh,
We
let me
jumped on the
see.
banana
Oh,
boat.
I want to see. The insurance company that's handling his lawsuit with his lawyers that's been pending for ages is certainly going to want to see these pictures. But I want to take a look at them first. Does this look like a healthy man to you?
Yeah, pretty healthy.
Oh, look at him climbing up the tree. Yes! Look at him climbing up that tree. Picking up his girlfriend. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh, well, not only will you probably not get this money from your car accident and the substantial injuries that you alleged in your complaint, but you owe her $916. Judgment for the plaintiff. Step out.
Parties are excused. Women step out.
I think somebody finally taught him a lesson.
Regardless, win or lose, at least I'm glad this is over with.
I know Kyle better than anyone else, and no one can make him do anything he doesn't want to do but Judge Judy.
I'm just tired of messing with them. I'm sure they're tired of me. I just soon move on.
I did speak with Kyle several times.
Nothing was ever said about it until the relationship was over.
He did say that he would reimburse me the money once he got his settlement.
I'm sure they want the money, especially since the relationship didn't work out.
Oh, I'm thrilled. Justice has prevailed.
Cold-hearted people.
And I think we need to go back to Jamaica real soon.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Allen versus Caldwell. Step forward, please.
Nurse Karen Allen is suing her former pet sitter, 21-year-old ER clerk Tiffany Caldwell, for rent and for the cost of a Welsh Corgi. Karen says while she was away, her dog was euthanized.
Miss Allen, according to your complaint, you hired Miss Caldwell to house and dog sit for you. You were going to be gone for several months, and you had to leave your dog at home. The arrangement was that she would stay in your house for how many months?
It was going to be from March of 2004 until August of 2004.
Unfortunately, when you came home in August, you found that your dog had been euthanized.
Yes, ma'am.
And your house trashed.
Yes, ma'am.
And you want Miss Caldwell to now pay you for rent and for your dog.
Yes,
I don't know how you set a price on that. What kind of dog did you have?
I had an AKC registered Pembroke Welsh Corgi.
How long had you had the dog?
Approximately about a year and a half.
Boy or a girl?
A male.
Where is your home?
In Knoxville, Tennessee.
And where were you going for 5 months?
I was going to work as a travel nurse in Newark, New Jersey.
Is this your son?
Yes, ma'am.
He was going with you?
No, he stayed with his father during the 5 months.
And where does his father live?
In Morristown, Tennessee, about 40 miles away from Knoxville.
How did you find Miss Caldwell?
A common friend of ours that we both share suggested her, said that she was looking for something, and she worked for the same hospital system I worked at in Knoxville, and it's a very choosy hospital system, so I felt that, you know, they've checked her out, and they've checked me out, so we should probably be a pretty good fit. We met and talked, and she agreed to watch my dog and live in the house while I was gone.
Is that correct so far, Miss Caldwell?
Yes, ma'am.
So she moved into the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you check on the house and the defendant during the 5 months that she was there?
Yes, ma'am, I did. I was home 2 or 3 times to take Matthew to hockey events. I would fly in for the weekend, stop by the house, check on the dog. Everything seemed fine. And I would call her frequently. So it was phone tag sometimes, but I would always get a message back, everything was fine. In July, I did call to check on my dog, and she told me that mosquitoes were bad in the area and that he had a few mosquito bites, but he was fine.
You remember that conversation in July?
Actually, it was flies, and she said that it had happened yearly, that his ears would get irritated from where the flies would bother him when he would stay outside.
Why was he staying outside?
The agreement between her and I was, since I worked at the time 10-hour shifts, and she had worked 12 when she lived there, that the dog would, of course, stay outside because couldn't leave him inside that long. And there was a lead that he was attached to. He had a house, he had food, he had water. When I was home, he was in the house with me. When I was at work, he was out in the yard.
When would you leave for work?
It differed. Sometimes I'd work morning shift, sometimes I'd work graveyard shift, evening shift.
You mean when you worked the night shift, you would leave the dog outside all night?
Yeah, that's when he would stay outside nightly.
Was that your agreement with her?
He was not supposed to be outside all night. He was crate trained. He had a nice large roomy crate in the house. And a lot of times, even when I was at work, if I felt the weather was not acceptable and it wouldn't be good for him to be outside, he wouldn't go outside.
Were you sleeping at the house every night?
For the first month or so that I had moved in, I did. And then I got a phone call from Karen telling me that the landlord had told her that he wasn't happy with the fact that someone else was staying there, because I had occasionally had a friend that I worked with stay with me, and he apparently wasn't happy about any of the situation.
Well, he wasn't unhappy with you staying in the house, just with the friend.
Well, the conversation was it was a general, he wasn't happy about any of the situation. He didn't like it. He apparently wasn't happy with Karen being away and somebody else being in the house at all.
Ms. Caldwell.
I made it very specific that I didn't want any strangers in my house, Your Honor.
Right. Don't give me baloney. Did the landlord complain to you that there was this guy in the house?
Yes, ma'am, he did.
And did you tell her that?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
So you told her not to have the guy in the house?
Correct.
Right. That's different than you not staying in the house. That just says tell your boyfriend not to stay there. There's a difference, Miss Caldwell. So if she told you the boyfriend couldn't stay there, you decided to stay at his place? Is not an answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what you did?
Sometimes.
Okay. So when you stayed there sometimes, that means that you went to work. And when you say you went to work, you left the dog outside. And then when you went to your boyfriend's house, where did you leave the dog?
The dog would stay out.
So that the dog would be out sometimes for 24 hours at a time?
Sometimes, yes, ma'am.
That's irresponsible, Miss Caldwell. Very irresponsible. When you make an arrangement with somebody and you find yourself a boyfriend, then you call her up and you say, listen, I can't keep that part of the bargain because I now have a boyfriend. And it's very important that I sleep with him. Because if I don't sleep with him, I'll die. So you're going to have to find somebody else to take care of the dog. You don't just disregard your responsibility and allow the dog to stay outside for 24 hours at a time. We understand each other?
Yes, ma'am.
You think I'm right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think you did the wrong thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Because that's not what your answer says. I read your answer and you said she told me I couldn't stay there. I said, gee, that doesn't make sense. Here's a woman who hires you to stay in her house. Why would she tell you you couldn't stay there? She didn't tell you you couldn't stay there. She said your boyfriend couldn't stay there. When you got home in August, what did you find, Miss Allen?
We arrived home on August the 13th, Matthew and I. We drove into our driveway, and the dog was not outside. It was a very hot day, and so I thought, well, maybe she had placed the dog inside. But somehow I had this sinking feeling that moms have in their stomach. We got into the house, called for the dog. There was no dog. There was a horrible stench in the house where garbage had been piled up, dirty dishes with water that had like 1/4 of an inch of mold on the top layer of the water. Immediately I said to my son Matthew, I said, we need to go to the dog shelter. We got in the car and went to the shelter, which is 1 mile from my home, and walked in and asked if anybody had turned in a Welsh Corgi. A young man had said, we received a Corgi. What kind is it? I told him it was a Pembroke. He asked me if it was tricolored. I told him yes. He says, I think we have your dog. And of course I was ecstatic. We get back into the back. They couldn't find the dog. They asked me to wait in reception. About 10 or 15 minutes later, a woman walked out who was the manager. She was visibly upset. And she said, I am so sorry to tell you this, but at the same time that you walked in, we were euthanizing your animal, we believe. They asked if we wanted to see the body and identify it, and I said yes. I had to know.
And what about the mess that was left in the house?
There was
not an answer.
There was dirty dishes in the house.
Why?
I left because I was upset. The dog wasn't there. I couldn't find him. I couldn't get.
You left the dishes earlier. You left the dishes early. You didn't leave the dishes then. You left the mess in the house before. Why?
There's no excuse.
Where are you living now?
I'm living in an apartment.
And how much rent do you pay?
$360 a month.
$360
Yes,
times
ma'am.
5. That's $1,800. You had a bartering agreement with her. Your agreement with her was that in exchange for watching the dog and taking care of the house, you could live in her home rent-free. You didn't live up to your end of the agreement. So you have to pay a rent. Right? Sounds right to me. That's $1,800. Now, you can't put a price on your dog, but there has to be some statement to this young lady that she can't take that kind of responsibility and just cast it out the window because she finds herself a boyfriend. Right? I will put a price on it for the purposes of this litigation. The price that I'm putting on is $2,000. Judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $3,800. $1,800 for rent and $2,000 because she didn't take care of her responsibility. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
We walked in, they said they had him, we were ecstatic, and then to find out that they had just put him down, I mean, right as we walked in the door.
I didn't neglect the dog.
It was my best friend.
I feel really sad about that because I have a dog and I know what it's like.
It was just somebody I could always play with.
I had actually rescued this animal from a neglectful household.
We all learn from mistakes, so I know not to go into a situation like this again.
He was just a joy.
I just don't know what kind of human could do this.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Dutcher Wilson versus Lake. Step forward, please.
17-year-old Melissa Wilson and her mother, Sue Dutcher, are suing Melissa's half-sister, 23-year-old college student Beth Lape, for the return of Melissa's personal belongings. Beth is countersuing for rent and for a broken front door.
Melissa,
Yes.
you are how old?
17.
This is your sister.
Yes.
These two young ladies are your daughters. Is that right?
That's correct.
According to your complaint, Melissa, you moved in with your sister.
Yes.
And you have a child who's 4 years old?
Yes, I do.
And you moved in with your child.
Yes, I did.
It didn't work out. You left.
Yes.
And your sister refuses to return property that she says she has that belongs to you, and she acknowledges that she has property that belongs to you. She says you can have the property back when you pay her what you owe her in rent. As far as her counterclaim against your mother is concerned, she says that you have harassed her and some other nonsense, which I'm sure she'll tell me about when I give her a brief opportunity. What property do you have that belongs to your sister?
Clothing, personals, a couple toys of her daughter's.
Why haven't you given it back to her?
When she stayed with me, what happened at the beginning of August of this year, she had called me. We started talking more often, 2-3 times a day. She wanted to move into the city because she lived about an hour away from the city. And she expressed to me on several occasions she wanted to come stay with me. And I said, right, the first couple of weeks she moved, I went and got her on the 17th of August. She wanted to stay. I said, you know, the rest of the month, the 2 weeks, you know, fill out applications. You don't have to worry about, you know, just pick up after yourself. And if I need to babysit here and there, you know, for that or whatever, then that's okay.
Prior to moving into your house, who was she living with?
She was living with her father and stepmother.
Let me cut to the chase, my dear. Your sister is 17 years old. You can't make a contract with her for rent. Do you understand?
Yes, I do understand.
Good! That's what the law says. The law says unless a court has emancipated her, and I don't hear that any court has emancipated her, she's 17 and she cannot enter into a binding contract to pay you rent. You cannot withhold her property. Do you understand? Good. So 5 days from today, you want to box her property and make sure you box it appropriately and keep it all in
I already
good
boxed it
order.
up. Yeah.
And she will make arrangements to come and pick it up.
Thank
Understood?
you. Yes.
All right. Now, you have a counterclaim against your mother. You want to tell me what that's about?
Yes. On the 8th of October, they had come to my house.
For what?
She had to get her stuff. She had a key.
Okay, she came to your house to get her property
With the
that you
cops.
previously would not give her.
Exactly.
Okay.
She came with a cop. They kicked in the door. Now, she had a key. I still don't understand why they kicked in my door.
Who kicked in your door?
Both of them. I have a police report, if you'd like to see it.
Now, where were you when they kicked in the door?
I was upstairs in my children's room, laying my youngest one down for a nap. The door was closed.
How do you know that your mother kicked in the door?
The police told me that.
That's hearsay.
It's in a police report. They both kicked it in. And also my witness. She did see the incident, what happened that day.
Step up. Are you a neighbor of hers or a friend of hers?
I'm her half-sister.
When did you arrive at her home that day?
I'd say between about 4:30 and 5 o'clock.
Were you there when the police arrived?
When I pulled up, there was 2 police cars. I noticed her mother's van there, also her other sister's vehicle there. I noticed Mrs. Dutcher and Miss Wilson exiting Beth's house, yelling and screaming, shouting profanities, so forth, in front of all her neighbors. My nephews were present. They're 2 and 6. Confused.
So that my question to you is you did not see anybody kick in the door?
No.
How did you push in the door?
She unlocked the door with a key. She had a child's riding vehicle jammed between the wall and the door so that we couldn't push it all the way open. And a part of the door did break. It wasn't the lock on the door, but it was the part in the door jamb. The latch.
The cops told me they allowed her to break in because if you lock yourself out, you're allowed to break in.
Oh, just a minute.
Wait.
I mean, I told you that's hearsay, but you're telling me now that the police told her she was allowed to break in to get her stuff? Is that what you just said to me?
The police allow you to break in if you lock
Is
yourself out.
that what you're telling me?
Yes.
So
you're
what are
allowed
you
to break in, but
complaining?
it's a rental property. You're still responsible for it.
Just a second.
You're still
So what are
responsible
you
for the
telling
door.
me?
What are you talking about? You're still responsible for the door. If you break your own property, it's a rental property. You still
Let
have
me
to
tell
pay
you
for
something,
it.
my
Then
dear.
the landlord would sue us.
Let me tell you something, my dear. It could all have been avoided if when your sister left, you let her take her clothing, the baby's toys, and said this didn't work out. What you said to her was, you're not getting the stuff until I get the rent. That's what you said. That's what you said in your answer.
No, I know that.
So, so you caused the problem yourself. You cannot withhold her property.
I didn't make her lock. She had a key.
Grow up. The case is just, listen to me. You're getting your stuff back 5 days from today. Your counterclaim is dismissed. That's all.
How does that excuse you?
Like the judge said, she needs to grow up.
She had a kid when she was 12, 13 years old. I tried to help her out. I tried to give her freedom and help her be more responsible at the same time.
She never let me go anywhere or do anything. I always had to be there and stay there with her and her kids.
Yeah, I have rules. Yeah, you may be 17 and you want to go party and not get a job, but you still have to pay bills and you still have to contribute.
She left me a very threatening message on my cell phone.
My mom raised us. We have attitudes, we have problems and stuff, and that all strings from our mother.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Hirsch versus Wirtz, turn up. Step forward.
Writer Randy Hirsch is suing his ex-roommates, art director Teresa Wirtz, and student Krista Turner for vandalizing their home by writing on the walls with crayons. Randy also claims the women slandered him.
Mr. Hirsch, you rented a house. You were going through what I gather was an acrimonious divorce. You ended up in the house alone. Why are you smiling? That's not a happy thing. No. Acrimonious divorce is not a happy thing. And you decided to rent rooms to sort of make up the rent. You rented the rooms to these two young ladies at different times. I assume you didn't know each other? And then you got evicted from the house. And
Correct.
You claimed that you told them that they had to leave. They stayed on after you moved out, caused damage to the house that you were going to be responsible for. And in addition, you had to spend hours and hours cleaning up after them. So you want to be compensated for the damage that they did to the house. The defendants say that you caused a substantial amount of damage to the house yourself, your daughter, who you allowed to write all over the wall with crayons. They do acknowledge, however, which is to their credit, that they were really angry with you for what they perceived as scamming them. And when they did stay on, they did cause a little damage by writing on walls and maybe doing a couple of other little things. Certainly not $2,500 worth. So I have a few questions for you, Mr. Hirsch.
Okay.
When did you lease this house?
In August of 2003.
What was the rent?
$2,400 a month plus utilities.
Did you live there with your family?
Yes.
When did they move out?
They moved out at sometime around May 15th.
When did you rent to either of these two young ladies?
I rented the room to Krista on August 14th, and I was not completely honest with her, Your Honor.
Just a second. August 14th, and what rent were you charging her?
$650 a month.
When did you rent it to this young lady?
September 14th.
What's your first name, Ms. Wirtz?
Teresa.
What were you charging Teresa in rent?
$650.
Now, you started to say that you were not completely honest.
Correct.
With one of them or both of them? In what regard weren't you completely honest?
I had been struggling to try to save the house and had fallen a couple of months behind with the owner. I'm a struggling writer and my income diminished and I fell a little bit behind, and finally I got a eviction notice sometime in the first week or two of September.
So by the time you rented to Teresa, you had already gotten your first eviction notice.
I received a couple.
By the time you rented to Teresa, you had already gotten put everything down. I'm very smart. I'm getting the story. Did you pay August's rent to the landlord?
No.
Although you had received her $650.
Yes.
What about September's rent? Did you pay September's rent? And that is despite the fact that you had received her $650.
Yes.
Did either young lady give you any security deposit?
No.
Yes.
How much did you give him?
By August 15th, I had given him $1,600, which was to pay for rent until November 15th.
Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
How much of that did you return to her?
Zero.
When I moved out, I owed her $650, and the day that I moved out, I offered her a check for $600, and she threw it on the ground.
Now, how did you find out that he was evicted?
By him on September 20th letting me know that we were going to be evicted on September 30th.
And how did you find out, Teresa, that you were going to be evicted?
The same way.
And when did you move out, Mr. Hirsch?
I moved out on the 24th of September with all my stuff.
Stuff that he had rented to us. Like, we were using the couch, we were using the TV, we were using all the facilities there, and he got up and left.
It was including the utilities. He moved out
shut off
without letting us know, and so we stayed there.
Mr. Hirsch, what would you like me to do for you today, sir?
When I had a very expensive entertainment system, Your Honor, and unfortunately I made a terrible mistake, and Teresa and I here had intimate relations on the first 2 nights that we moved, that she was there. On the 3rd night, my daughter came for visitation. I only have her on the weekends. She was criticizing the way I was raising my daughter. I told her to mind her own business. She's never been married. She doesn't have kids of her own. She slapped me across the face.
Listen to me. Listen to me. You want to tell this story? Go on Dr. Phil. I asked you a simple question.
Okay.
I said, what do you want me? I'm a judge. I'm not a therapist. You want a therapist? Go hire a therapist. What do you want me, the judge, to do for you today?
They completely covered every wall in the house with graffiti.
Yes.
I got the bill from the repairman and the handyman. The actual bill is $3,800.
Yes.
And then last night I spoke with the handyman, and he says, and also the owner, that they forgot to include the stolen drapes of $600 in this bill. The drapes were also stolen.
Just a second. Did anybody steal any drapes?
No, ma'am. We actually have...
The drapes were stolen.
Mr. Hirsch, I'm going to tell you that I think that you have real chutzpah. You defraud these 2 young ladies by taking their money, knowing full well that you are not using their money towards rent. And then when they may, and they acknowledge that they behave badly, you say, they can't do that to me. They can't stick me with a bill from the landlord. Do I look as if I need any help from you? So there's an old doctrine, sir, and that is the doctrine of clean hands. When you come into a court of equity, that's this court, we try to do the right thing. You're supposed to come in with clean hands. You're not supposed to have done anything wrong, because this is not a case where I'm going to compare wrongs. Well, you defrauded them, and they reacted. And how much am I going to attribute, to ascribe to each wrong? The initial sin was yours. You took their money under false pretenses. Thousands of dollars. You did not use the thousands of dollars to pay for what they expected you to pay for, which was rent, so that they wouldn't be evicted. And all the time you knew that you were going to get thrown out on your behind. Don't come into court and ask for any favors, sir. You're not going to get any here. Your case is dismissed.
Thank you.
You may step out.
I think she was spot on. Really glad to be here.
She said that my parenting skills were horrible.
Well, he would feed her constantly, never take her to the park or give her any exercise.
I told her to mind her own business.
He allowed her to sleep in his bed every night because he'd rented out her bedroom with furniture to me.
I should have just been more honest.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of LeManc versus Minor. Step forward.
23-year-old Gerald LeManc is suing fellow partygoer Daryl Minor for knocking over his laptop computer during a party. Gerald says Daryl had been drinking all day.
Mr. LeManc?
Yes.
You attended a 30th anniversary party at the home of the defendant?
No, it was at the home of a friend of mine.
Defendant was a guest?
Yes.
And you brought your computer with you in order to play music?
Correct.
And it is your claim that Mr. Minor damaged your computer?
Correct.
Mr. Minor says that you balanced this computer in a very precarious way, that he did bump into it, but nothing happened to it, and you shouldn't have brought it anyway. Right, so far?
Right, so far, yes.
Good. When was this party?
August 21st.
Now, what prompted you to bring your computer?
I brought the computer for musical entertainment.
Didn't they have a radio?
We did have a radio on top of 2 speakers, along with the computer.
Okay, so you had 2 big speakers. How tall were the speakers?
About 3 or 4 feet tall. I have pictures.
I'd like to see pictures.
I have pictures of where the computer was and that it was balanced on the speakers.
Oh, I see where it is. I see it's balanced on one of the speakers.
And the ground there was quite level, and the speakers were level.
I see where it's balanced on one of the speakers.
With room to spare. There's room around the whole computer.
It's balanced on one of the speakers. Okay, now who saw Mr. Minor damage the computer? Okay, step up. Who are you?
My name's Raylene Luby, and I'm his cousin.
Whose cousin?
Daryl, Mr. Minor.
Okay, go ahead.
There was a tent there, and so I went outside the tent by the computer and where the beer was, and I was getting a beer, and he came around the corner and he said, "What are you doing?" And then all of a sudden, he fell forward onto his knees, and the thing slammed shut. The speaker moved. He straightened the speaker back up, stood back up. I walked around. I said, "Jerry, you better go look at your computer." Daryl fell on it.
When he fell on it, it was during the afternoon?
No, it was nighttime.
Had you spoken to Mr. Minor earlier that evening?
Yeah.
Was he fine?
Well, he was drunk.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. He was drunk?
Sure.
What do you mean, sure? I mean, you don't necessarily
He'd
go
been
to a
drinking
party
all
and get
day.
drunk. What?
He was quite drunk.
So when he fell on the computer, he was drunk?
Sure, yes.
Okay. Go.
Your Honor, when I got there, it started at 3 o'clock. My wife and I showed up. They were playing Irish music. Party went on.
When we get to the computer, Mr. Minor, do you remember falling?
I remember hitting the speaker. I was going for a beer. There was a space maybe about 2 foot to get in there. The way the speaker was set up, it was set up so you had to go around it a little bit, which I did.
Did you have too much to drink, Mr. Minor? Your cousin says you did.
Well, they had Jello shots there.
Did you have too much to drink?
Did I have too much to drink? No, I was walking. I didn't have that much to drink.
I have 2 pictures there, Your Honor, with him with a beer cup in his hand, and that he was drinking all day long.
Well, I assume that
It's
he
an
was.
anniversary party for my cousins.
Okay.
I live
So what
around the
happened?
corner.
So what happened to the computer? Is that what it looks like now?
Yes. The computer was damaged, the screen from here to here,
Mhm.
and in between in the middle. And it's shattered.
What do you want to say? First, who are you?
I'm his wife.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that he wasn't the only one that was drunk. Everybody at the party was drunk. That's why I left early. I do not drink, and it's no fun being with a bunch of people who are drinking.
I'm with you.
So I left. So he was not the only one drunk, and he was not the only one who probably bumped into that speaker.
Well, that you don't know. All you know is that that's his cousin.
Right.
She said the computer was working on top of the speaker. He was drunk, and he fell over, and he knocked it over, and that's what happened.
Right, that's what she said, because she was drunk too.
That may be. However, there's no question that the computer was broken, right?
We don't know that.
Well,
It's
I know
broken
that.
now.
Well, I know that. I mean, did she have a vendetta against you? Listen, Mr. Minor, when you drink, and sometimes you don't remember what happens because you drink too much, sometimes it turns out okay, and sometimes it doesn't turn out okay. In this case, it did not turn out okay. He's allowed to bring his computer to the party. He's allowed to place it someplace, and if you weren't intoxicated, then I would say, well, it's an accident. You fell over, and that's what happens. But when you allow yourself to become inebriated to the extent where you're not steady on your feet and damage occurs, you're responsible, sir. There's no question you're responsible. Then there may have been a lot of other people who were drinking, and there may have been a lot of other people who could have fallen over, but they didn't. You did. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $757. That's all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
If he would have stepped up like a man in the first place and paid for it, we wouldn't have had to worry about all this.
It's a party. They got Jello shots there. They had everything there, you know.
Sources you need, the influence you need is hidden in accessing the wisdom of the Spirit. Do you believe what I'm teaching you? I want God to really change your life tonight. It's a miracle service, but you listen. Because many people just shout amen and go back and nothing changes. When I was praying and I heard that freedom, I knew that what most people need is how to access the wisdom of God. I told you, one time the Lord came to me and here was the revelation. He said, son, this is a strategy for you. It's not a strategy for everybody. You will do it and it will not work, because it is the wisdom of God that is connected to his will for you. That is why blindly copying is a recipe for disaster. Hallelujah. And here's what he told me: carry your teachings, audio teachings. That time we didn't have any sound to edit. You listen to some of those teachings, you need a lot of endurance. Powerful revelation, but with all kinds of noise. Sometimes the volume will go up and down, but that was what we could do at that time. And yet he said, take that teaching. He says, put it online. My angel will take it to the nations, and with it I will announce you the wisdom of God. That childlike obedience is what has birthed this level of influence that you see today. Now somebody will blindly go and do that and put everything online, and all you will get is an insult from people. And who do you think you are? And people just insult you until you withdraw it back, because to you, you are just copying in the flesh. It did not come. That is not the strategy allocated for your victory. Never take any step until you know what God's will is, and you have received the wisdom to make what he has said come to pass. God can give you a vision, and in that vision you will see a duplex. That is God's will for you. He's saying, I want to establish you. Let me tell you what most people do. They receive the will and then they choose the strategy by themselves. That is why they fail. So the person gets up and immediately he goes to collect. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but he goes to collect a loan of 50 million, 100 million, and he says, I know what I saw. God told me. Now the person did not see a lie, but he did not stay with the spirit. Everything that comes from God to your spirit, I am telling you, what you see, if it is only the will of God that you receive, the package was not complete. There is still another package coming, the wisdom connected to his will. Hallelujah. When we came to Abuja, you've heard the story. I said these things to inspire you. It's always been a second home, but now coming to do ministry, Lord, how is this going to happen? But those who know God find rest. Anything he says, you are not afraid of the size of what he has said, because there is a wisdom component that is going to come. The moment it lands, it deflates every difficulty. And I began to pray, pray, and the Spirit of God began to search the mind of God. When you design for the next level of koinonia, dear Father, what was the strategy? And there it was. That file was found in the Spirit, and when it was opened, because he said, lo, I come, as it is written of me in the volume of the book to do your will, it was found. And the Lord came to me again. Get the map of Abuja, get the map of Nigeria, get the map of Africa, and get the map of the world. Begin to pray on it. With childlike faith, I started rejoicing. I kept praying. That was my assignment. As simple as it is, that was a wisdom. I remember one time, many years in Zaria, the Lord gave me an instruction, and I trekked from a very long distance, and all I was doing was just speaking and trekking till I got to some very far distance, and that was the strategy that gave us dominion within that city. Can I tell you, when you meet spiritual men, their pathway does not reconcile with science many times, but you wait and watch the result that comes out of it. The Bible says, to those who are called, both Greeks and Jews, Christ is the power of God, and Christ is the wisdom of God. I began to pray, and one thing led to the other. Today, look what God is doing, and this is only the beginning. Hallelujah. By the way, let me apologize. I promised last week that I was going to officially launch, the project and the funds. I just decided to be patient, to allow those involved. There are still a few things they need to put together, and I thought it was good for them to put everything together before we officially make that announcement. So pardon me, I even forgot. My sincere apologies for those who have been waiting to give. Just be patient, and hopefully when they tidy up everything, we want to do everything excellently, and then to launch it with understanding. So just keep praying, and I'm sure that everything will be tidied up soonest. But are we still together? The wisdom of God. So for someone, you can be praying, trusting God to increase your business, and once you are praying, the Lord shows you the picture. I want to lift you, I want to bless you, but Lord, how is this going to happen? God can give you an instruction. it can come as the wisdom of God. This is what you call rhema. It's not just a word spoken from God. The wisdom of God allocated. See, the rhema word of God is not applicable to everybody. It is bespoke to you. It comes to you as a solution to whatever predicament. It is the reason why you cannot create doctrines out of it, because it was a word specified for your situation. You can share and God can give others instruction to obey exactly. That can become a rhema word for them too. But until he speaks, it cannot be called the wisdom of God. Now, can I tell you this? The purpose of studying scripture is not just to see, it's not just to learn, is that his voice will come out through what you are studying, and he will say something to you from scripture that relates to your now situation. The purpose of prayer, like I'll be teaching you, the Bible says that we have access to the hidden wisdom of God, that when we submit ourselves to prayer, when it is time for miracle service, what I do is I just start praying in the spirit. Every service really, but I'm praying in the spirit, and sometimes there are already impressions in my spirit. Now I plan, but there are times, because I do, there are tens of thousands of people. How, for God's sake, do you know this person's problem? If you are guessing, you will find out that at the end of it, you will guess and you will not bless up to 100 people out of all the people that came. And you keep walking like that, get ready for empty pews, because the people who come to you will not be blessed. But you can see sometimes God can give one word of knowledge and you find 20 people come out. This is the wisdom of God. He knows what their problems were. You watch our video while we're in, I think it was in UK or so, one of the phenomenal words of knowledge that God gave, and then the number of people plus the clothes they were wearing, and all of them came carrying that kind of thing. You don't guess that kind of thing, not in a territory like that. The hidden wisdom of God that was designed for our glory. Father, what do I need to do for the next level of my life? Why is ministry grounded this way? There has to be a way out. The first thing I need you to know is that for any problem you are confronting now, please find a way of convincing yourself that there is a way out. Say there is a way out. Let the devil hear it. Say there is a way out. Yes, sir. You are not the first to go through financial problems, marital problems, problems with children, problems with ministry. All of this, the Bible says, the thing that is the thing that was and the thing that will be. With respect to the dealings of men, there is nothing new under the sun. Those who walked out of all their challenges received wisdom from God. Others made blind assumptions to their detriment. The gift that God wants to give you tonight is to grant you an understanding to know how to access his wisdom for all things and all matters in your life. And I'm telling you, you would have gotten a key tonight. You walk out, you stand before storms and challenges, and you will smile in advance. Even though you don't know the way out, you pity what is standing in front of you, because for as long as the wisdom of God arrives, every mountain must be made low. Hallelujah. When it had to do with finances in this ministry, with all due respect and to the glory of God, at Seed Ministry struggle and suffer, manipulate people, and I said, God, I vow a vow that I will never manipulate and deceive your people because of the issue of resources. But the truth is that you will need resources to do the work of the kingdom. Being a person of integrity is not enough. It takes integrity and ability. And then he brings a strategy, and to God be the glory for what he's doing today. You see that? When it had to do with the manifestation of the anointing, I remember one time I was praying and asking God. That was when he took me to that scripture that says, follow them who through faith and patience. For me, it did not come as a Bible verse. it came as the wisdom of God. He's saying there's no point inventing the wheel when it has already been invented. There are men who I have worked with. That's when God showed me that the way he distributes graces in the world is that every time he wants to bless a generation, he creates a portal of spiritual possibility through a person and anoints that person by covenant, and that person becomes his official distribution system of that grace. Nobody will access that dimension of grace ignoring the position of that individual. Hallelujah. So if you want to step into the healing ministry today, you will be surprised. Even if you are in a village, God will find a way of making you have access to men like Benny Hinn, even if not directly through their materials, because by the privilege of the election of grace, they have become custodians of the mysteries of the kingdom. When you want to access wisdom, God will make you to have access to men like Dr. Mike Murdoch, the true apostle of wisdom living on earth today. Now it is up to you to discern. You can walk in a lot of foolishness and say, I must see Jesus myself, and foolishness will make you to not even be alive before you see him. Are we together? There are men who embody certain possibilities, that when you find out that your life, things are going haywire in your life, your prayer life is going down and all of that, there are vessels that when you encounter. I remember one time I gave you the story that I went for a program and they kept me in the guest house in Prayer City. When they kept me in that guest house, I waited for everybody to go. Later, when it was in the night, I just sneaked out like an armed robber, and I went to the ground and I said, Father, you give men graces. A place that prays 24 hours non-stop and has been doing it before you were born and they've not stopped till today, there must be a grace there. Father, let that grace land upon this head, because there are many things that I need. When I listened to the material of Dr. Mike Murdoch, where mediocres were busy criticizing, some of us were discerning and judging by the Spirit, and we saw that, you see, the truth is that when God has chosen, he has chosen. Yours is to believe and align, or argue and perish. Are we together now? And some of us, with the simplicity, knowing this dimension of God's wisdom, I started to pursue individuals by the grace of God and by the Spirit of God. That we're not, is one thing to be a career, but it's another thing to be God's conduit point of manifesting that possibility. Hallelujah. Yeah. There are many people who have not tapped into this wisdom. As a man of God, you can see every man of God and just believe we're all colleagues. After all, we're preaching, high five, and you greet, share the grace and go back, and no door is opening. I wish I were not the one teaching this. But you see, this is not human worship. I told you one time, by the grace of God, I was praying. We had begun to experience increase, but I knew there was a greater level, and the Lord gave me an instruction. He said, soon I will tell you, and when that time comes, you will go and meet God's servant Bishop Oyedepo, and there is a grace that you are going to receive. I remember that morning, God just told me, this is the day. I got up and I was on my way to Lagos. I carried a seed. You know, there are seeds that when you carry even the devil cannot stop you. The weight of you, he's going to clear the way and say, the kind of determination this man is coming with, let me attack tomorrow, not today. And by the privilege of God's grace, had the honor of going there, did whatever I had to do. And when I came out there in Canaan land, the Lord told me, place your hand on the ground. I placed my hand there, and he said, from today you have entered the overflow anointing. Can I tell you, when you carry certain graces, it shows. If you have to tell people you carry it, you don't have it. Are we together? A woman who is 9 months pregnant and said, don't play with me, I'm pregnant, is most likely lying. Because even if it's a rabbit you are carrying, at 9 months it will be clear. Am I right on that? The meaning of all this is that in the name of Jesus, whatever has stopped you from moving forward, there is a wisdom that must land on your destiny this night. Whilst we're preparing for the building project, I will announce to you, I just said, Lord, building projects of ministries a size like this, I mean, it's going to be so enormous, and it is you that grants wisdom. Please, I don't want to ever assume I am still your boy. I've not graduated myself to become your colleague. I'm still that boy you found. So come to me as a father and help me. And here was the Lord, came and brought a strategy and said, with this strategy, absolutely nothing will stop you. And I said, this is it. Absolutely. It's not pride, it's the truth. So you see, those who access the wisdom of God, when you look at them, they will turn around. You will think, what exactly about your life produces that result? It is not you, it is something within you and something upon you. He will not suffer my foot to be moved. I carry your mind is so full of me. I'm taking out time to teach you. I'm sure you're surprised that I'm teaching seriously during a miracle service, because I want you, this is what God told me. If it's freedom you are looking for many of us, what you need to do is to pray and say, Lord, I will wait until it comes. What is the it? Not just the will of God. You already know. What is the strategy? Some of you started running without the strategy. You just felt God has called me into ministry. On your mark set, you shot the gun by yourself. Now you've been running in cycles for years. Spiritual men stay till they receive the will and the wisdom. The will and the wisdom. Lord, there has to be a way. Now they've increased school fees 2 times the amount, 3 times the amount. Lord, you've given me 2 children and you gave me 11 others from my relatives. You are the one who asked me to take care of them. There must be a way. Instead of saying, I'm tired, 10 of you are going back to the village, and you destroy somebody who God was supposed to raise through you. The problem is not the economy, I'm telling you sincerely. The problem is the strategy. You have not received it yet. Lord, what is the strategy for survival? There has to be a way. And in the midst of that prayer, God can give you an instruction. Send a text to this person and just greet him. Don't ask for money, don't do anything. And you send that text. At that point, if you miss that point, you have missed that season. The wisdom of God is God who knows what is connecting. And the person just calls you and says, can you imagine? Your feet is ordered by the Lord. Oh, we're in the middle of do you have a job? He said, no. He said, come. NLNG asked me to bring 2 people. Are you ready to be the first person? And you just say, I was lucky. You were not lucky. It was the wisdom of God. It's naive people that call it luck. Do you know, I have taught you how prophecy happens in the life of people. When I speak over your life and say in the name of Jesus, let doors be open, once you receive it, the Holy Spirit moves upon your life as the spirit of wisdom. It is the wisdom of God that translates prophecy to become manifestation. The wisdom of God guides you, leads you, brings a feeling in your heart. I should just go and buy bread in the shop. Why did you not wait till evening? What is suddenly making you want to go to the mall to buy bread? It's not your desire, it's the wisdom of God in partnership with prophecy. As soon as you get into that mall, here is a manager also shopping. If you were to come to his office, the PA will drive you, but God made you to meet in the mall, and you say, good afternoon, ma, please can you help me? And she says, this is the wrong place, but I don't know, you collect my number. Listen, let me tell you the truth. If you are waiting for 1 to add to 1 to equals 2, get ready to suffer in this wicked world. The probability for your rising will be just a little above 0. But tap into the wisdom of God and watch the things that look like coincidences. I have met people today who have become marvelous advantages in my life. Some of them, I remember a man of God who wanted to meet me, true story, or was it a businessman? And he was sitting down and then we're traveling somewhere, and all of a sudden I just sit down and this man is saying, praise God, praise God. He could not believe it. He said, Apostle, let me tell you the truth. I've been praying to meet you, and it was very difficult. I knew if I come for koinonia it would be difficult, but now you are sitting down near me, and for all through this flight, two of us are not going anywhere. Now is the opportunity for the guy. Now it may look like a coincidence, but ask why you were not the one sitting there. Hallelujah. God himself. I told you a story here, a true story, and I'm not encouraging lateness or inefficiency, but someone who woke up late to go, you know, to I think some interview or so, and he woke up late. He already knew that was over for him as far as the job is concerned. Do you know that lateness, in his sincerity of heart, he was praying and saying, Lord, forgive me. And he gets to the elevator and finds out that the GM was also going up. He came late, and he collided with the man, and he started pleading and saying, sir, I'm late. And the man said, no problem. He held his hand, and he was the first to get that job. Now, ladies and gentlemen, hear me. I'm not saying you go late, you will not meet any GM. So let's balance this now. I'm speaking to the whole world, because the Bible said, be careful how you hear. Believers are funny people. They can hear something else while you are shouting another thing. So let me just say it. I'm not encouraging laziness, but I am saying this is how determined God can go to make his wisdom speak for you. If you know this, you will not cry over situations as though there were no hope, because the Bible says, for we know that all things, it is because of this wisdom that all things can work together. Hallelujah. People have collided with miracles in strange places. Hallelujah. Do you believe what I'm telling you? I know a man, true story, who found his business partner at a funeral. They went to bury somebody, and while people were crying, he just sat down, and one thing led to the other. They started discussing. Today, those people are very, very wealthy people. Funeral. By the privilege of God's grace, there are people God has granted me the privilege and the honor of helping, and it was in strange places, strange circumstances brought them to my life. He will not suffer my foot to be moved. Carry your presence everywhere. Who am I? Your mind is so full of me. You'll be surprised that there's someone who should help you, and the man will vow and say, in the name of Jesus, I will never, never help you. Then one day, the person suddenly starts feeling pain somewhere, and they tell the person, look, the only person within reach to help you is that man you say you don't want to see. You don't want to see him, but he's carrying an anointing that you need. And then I've taught you that every man's need is his point of contact. They will invite you, and by the time God uses you, you were to beg the man for 100,000, but the man gives you 10 million to say thank you for healing me. Do you believe what I'm teaching you? Listen, it's time for you to shake